Live from the Reich Center in Westerville, Ohio, it's time for Otterbein basketball on 97.5 WOBN. Here is the voice of the Cardinals, David Kinder.
Good evening, and we welcome you to the Reich Center in Westerville, Ohio for Saturday Night Hoops here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, 97.5 WOBN. Tonight, the 3-11 Otterbein Cardinals will look to remove the 7th-ranked Marietta Pioneers from the ranks of the unbeaten. Hello, I'm David Kinder. We thank you for joining us here at the Reich Center. Joining me at the radio desk is Elijah Gonzalez, making his first appearance back here on the WOBN airwaves in 3 games. Elijah, it's nice to have you back with us.
Yeah, it's good to be back and finally ready to see some Otterbein basketball again.
Let me ask you, how quick did you have to run up the steps to get to the press box today?
David, I'm a tad bit tired. But I did, produce all of my energy, and hopefully the Otterbein Cardinals can produce the same amount of energy that I did running up the stairs. They'll be in good shape.
Elijah, Mr. Extraordinaire, making sure we got everything okay at this station, and then running back to do the pregame show here on WOBN with us. And speaking of pregame shows, we want to thank everyone for tuning into this broadcast and to the Roush Honda pregame show, brought to you by Roush Honda, located at 100 West Schrock Road in Westerville, open Monday through Saturday for all your automotive needs, sales, service, and body shop. Closed on Sunday to spend time with family. You can find them on the web at RoushHonda.com. Roush Honda, serving the Westerville community since 1965. Let's take a look at these Otterbein Cardinals. Elijah, you haven't seen them in a couple games since that Virginia trip, but they come into this one 3-11 overall, 2-5 in Ohio Athletic Conference play. They're coming off a Wednesday night loss in John Carroll at University Heights, 92-72. And Elijah, I know you didn't get to see that game, but it was a game that Otterbein was really never in the game to begin with. We talked with some of the players, and they admitted to us JCU was the fastest team that they're going to see all year long. They just couldn't figure out that press defense that the Blue Streaks ran, and they got up and down the court much quicker than Otterbein did.
Yeah, that was a John Carroll team, David, that they did fall today to Mount Union, but this is a John Carroll team that is a very talented basketball team, and expect them to go pretty deep in the OAC tournament this year at the end of the season. But yeah, this was a game that Otterbein, really, like you mentioned, was never in, and really you had a couple of guys that got frustrated towards the end of that game, just with the way they played, had a lot of turnovers. It was just a game in which Otterbein really did not look and seem to be in sync at all in that basketball game.
Despite the 20-point loss, there were a few bright spots. You mentioned guys getting frustrated. Jake Phillips, the Otterbein point guard, certainly looked to be frustrated in the game, started driving to the hoop instead of passing it off. He still finished with 17, which was tied with Josh Lyle. And Lyle, a guy we don't know a whole lot about, Elijah. We know he transferred here into Otterbein a few weeks ago, doesn't have but 4 semesters left of eligibility. But we just found out a little bit about him. He played on the King James AAU team a few summers ago, started his basketball career at Kentucky State down south, transferred to Eastern Michigan, played on that team in 2013. Things didn't work out for him, so he transferred here to Otterbein. He's only played 2 games as a Cardinal. He dropped 17 in that loss to JCU, though. And like I said, we don't know a lot about him, but fortunately, Coach John Vanderwall from Marietta also doesn't know a lot about him either. Doesn't have much film on him, and that will benefit Otterbein.
Yeah, this could benefit Otterbein, and really for those that have never seen Josh Lyle play, because like we mentioned, he has not been on the Otterbein team except for but a couple of games. But this is a guy who has a very athletic build. He's a guy who's very physical when he drives to the rim, can shoot it pretty well from beyond the arc and outside. Hasn't done it this year, but really Otterbein in general has not been able to shoot the ball pretty well from the outside. So this is a guy in Josh Lyle that, while he hasn't played many games at Otterbein, once he fits into that system and once he fits into what Coach Adrian has in store, he can definitely be a dangerous player for this Otterbein team for the rest of his career, the short career that he has left.
Let's take a look at the players that will be returning to the roster tonight and those who will be scratched and in street clothes. A huge addition to the Otterbein lineup, Matt Hughes, who missed the past 2 games for the Cardinals. Their leading scorer, averaging about 11 points per game. He'll be back in the lineup. We hope he'll be in the starting lineup. We haven't heard yet if he will be among the starting 5. So he'll be back, so that's big for the Cardinals. Trey Miller III, though, he'll be out for his 4th straight game, still with shoulder concerns. So that's another big loss for Otterbein. They lose a little bit of depth at the guard spot.
Yeah, you mentioned Jake Phillips, and he's a great ball handler, really knows how to set up the offense, and really can do it all at that point guard position. But when Otterbein's able to put Trey Miller into the game, David, this is a team that becomes very dangerous. You have Trey Miller who can drive it to the hole, but he is a guy that looks to pass first and is a very good penetrator to the hoop and can really kick it out well. Jake Phillips also does the same thing, but that's a part of their game that they're going to be missing with Daryl Miller III out of the lineup today.
Let's take a look at tonight's opponents in the Pioneers of Marietta, who made the trip north from the Ohio River. Marietta comes in this one ranked 7th in all of Division III college basketball. They're 14-0 on the year. They're 7-0 in Ohio Athletic Conference playoff, to the best start in school history. And how about this, Elijah? They're going to try to be the first OAC team to finish a year undefeated since the 1933 Otterbein Cardinals. So a lot of history riding on the rest of their way going through the season. But what a talented team they are. They can beat you so many different ways, and primarily it's their defense. They are the league's best defense scoring-wise, giving up just 64 points per game. That does not bode well for Otterbein, who's the league's worst scoring offense, averaging just over 60 points per game, and they limit their opponents just 38% from the field.
Yeah, and David, right now this is a team in Marietta that is very, very good and is playing well, and really has been a team that is the most dangerous team by far in the OAC, but might we say this is one of the most dangerous teams in the country. I mean, this is a team that from the beginning of last year, they were ranked 22 in the country when they came here to Westerville. Now they're ranked 7th in the country, and you mentioned it, they have it all. They have the guard play, they have the post play, and they have the perimeter shooting, most importantly, which is able to allow them to get up and down the floor. And this is a team put up 80 points on Capital. Don't expect them to put up less than at least 70 points on Otterbein. This is a team that will really like to run the floor and stretch it out and make Otterbein run with them. And if Otterbein really can't keep up with Marietta, I don't see them competing in this basketball game.
Marietta beat Otterbein both times they matched up last season. Both times the Pioneers hung the century mark on Otterbein. And whenever a team gets this far undefeated, Elijah, you'll hear people say that sometimes it's probably better to not be undefeated, to lose one game going into tournament play. That way you get the monkey off your back, so to say, and you don't have a target on your chest anymore. So they're going for history, obviously. Is there any validity to that argument?
I don't really like that argument. I really don't, because this is a Marietta team that they have experience. They have guys that want to win, and I really don't see it being the big factor. I mean, last year going in the OAC tournament, they were the favorite, and they did get upset by a Wilmington team who later went on to win the OAC tournament. But this is a Marietta team that I think really has the skill set and has the players to make it pretty deep in not only the OAC tournament, but the NCAA tournament. So this is a Marietta team that Otterbein's playing that take nothing for granted if you're Otterbein.
Well, the Cardinals have a chance to take them from the ranks of the undefeated and allow that 1933 squad to be the OAC's last unbeaten team. Earlier this week, we had a chance to head over to practice and talk with Otterbein junior forward Mark McEwen, get his thoughts on the JCU game as well as tonight's game with Marietta. Joining us on the program is Otterbein junior forward Mark McEwen. Mark, thanks for joining us here on the program. First off, could we just talk about the season overall, particularly your role? Such a young team this year. You're a junior. Usually in this situation, you'd have to be another year before being one of the bigger leaders on this team. But since it's such a young team, you've been the leader in situations like this. If you could just talk about that experience overall.
Yeah, we got a lot of young guys on the team, so it kind of comes to me where I have to do more of the talking and like huddles and stuff rather than they do the talking, but that's really the one big thing that sticks out.
You guys are coming off a 92-72 loss to John Carroll and University Heights. Seemed like JCU is one of the fastest teams that you guys have played all year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they're definitely the fastest in the league. Like, they get the ball out and they go.
Schedule gets no easier for you guys as you take on undefeated Marietta. What can you tell us about the Pioneers that they do so well that make them dangerous?
They're a lot like John Carroll. They like to get the ball out and go, and they got guys that will just pull it right away in the shot clock, so we'll have to make sure we match up in transition.
Lastly, Mark, what has been the biggest thing Coach Adrian has been working on with you guys leading up to your toughest game of the year?
I would definitely say the defensive part of the battle, like the ball and transition, making sure we stop it and finding the shooters and locating that and just being able to prepare for the speed they play at.
Thank you very much for joining us here on the program, Mark. Best of luck to you and the team tonight.
All right, thank you.
That was Otterbein junior forward Mark McEwen, kind enough to take some time out of his day and join us here on the pregame show. About 5 minutes before we tip things off here in Westerville, we're going to take our first break of the pregame show. When we come back, though, we'll take a look around the conference, give you the finals of the other games in the OAC, as well as top 25 major college basketball, and we'll get you the starting lineups here from Westerville. You're listening to Otterbein Basketball here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, 97.5 WOB, and don't go anywhere. It's the Cardinals and the Pioneers coming up next.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Hey Cardinal fans, Otterbein Athletics on the Radio is brought to you in part by Westerville Automotive. Serving the Westerville area for 20 years, they have 2 locations on Westerville Road and in the Uptown area, just seconds away from Otterbein on Main Street. They're on the web at westervilleautomotive.com. You can follow them on Facebook at Westerville Automotive Uptown or call them at 614-890-6700. That's Westerville Automotive.
This is head coach Todd Adrian, and you're listening to Cardinal Basketball on 97.5 WOBN Westerville, your source of Otterbein athletics.
There be many pirates that sail these 7 seas. Barbosa, Blackbeard, Jack Sparrow. But there be only one pirate you need care about. The MC DJ MC. Every Thursday from 8 to 10, he sails for Pirate Radio on WOBN, playing everything you want to hear on your college radio station, The Wild Card.
Fewer than 5 out of 100 people give blood. Ever wonder why they do it?
It's the one thing that we can do that we can always afford to do, and hey, you get a snack afterwards, so.
Snacks are great. I had never knew my blood type, and I found out in doing this that I'm O negative, so there's that added pressure knowing that everyone can use my blood at any time, and so I feel like it's my responsibility.
It's a little extra bragging power, too, knowing that you're a universal giver.
Yeah, I'm pretty special.
Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcrossblood.org to make an appointment today.
I'm Drew Brees, and being a dad means the world to me. And one of the most important things any parent can do is make sure their kids get active at least 60 minutes each day. Studies show that physical activity not only helps kids stay healthy, it can enhance important skills like concentration and problem solving, which can improve academic performance. This means physical activity can help your kids in the most important game of all, life. Learn more at fitness.gov.
Brought to you by HHS.
Good evening, and we welcome you back to the Right Center here in Westerville, Ohio. We're about 2 minutes set from tip-off. David Kinder, along with me, Elijah Gonzalez. We're just about set for the Cardinals and the Pioneers here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network. And Elijah, pretty decent crowd here at the Right Center. The Adrian's Army has filed in the north section of the basketball court. The student pep band makes its return back to the gymnasium, and it's football recruit night here, so a lot of potential students on campus as well.
Might we mention a little Woburn connection to the pep band, as Matt Cole will be doing the directing of the pep band, so it's always nice to see a little bit of Woburn out there as well.
Matt filled in for Elijah for those past 3 games here during the men's basketball broadcast. All 4 other games going on in the Ohio Athletic Conference today happened earlier than ours, so they all have gone final. Heidelberg beat Capital in Bexley 59-51. John Carroll lost to Mount Union in a high-scoring affair, 95-92 in Alliance. Ohio Northern ended up falling to BW and Berea 83-62, and Muskingum lost to Wilmington in Wilmington 100-78. And that makes the conference standings very unique looking and very interesting. Marietta, of course, sitting at number 1, 7-0 in the league. Right behind him is Mount U at 7-1 in the conference. BW and John Carroll are in a 2-way tie for 3rd place at 6-2 in the league. 2 teams below them in Heidelberg and Wilmington at 3-5, followed by Otterbein at 2-5. Ohio Northern right behind them in 8th place at 2-6. Capital as well tied with ONU at 2-6. Muskingum in dead last in the conference at 1-7. We'll throw it down for the playing of the national anthem though now. Otterbein Pet Band playing the national anthem here at the Reich Center under the baton of Otterbein's own general manager, Matt Cole. We want to thank everyone for joining us here on the Roush Honda pregame show. As I said, I'm David Kinder, Elijah Gonzalez joining me, and we're getting set for opening tip-off, and it's time now for the starting lineups. First, for the visitors from Marietta.
First for the visitors from Marietta will be number 3, Andy Dahlman, the senior wing from West Virginia. Then it will be Raneal Young, number 5, the junior wing from Westerville, Ohio. Went to Dublin Scioto, actually transferred from Otterbein to go to Marietta, sat out a year, and now he's starting for the Pioneers. Then it will be Luis Garcia, the junior wing, number 24, standing at 6'1" from Miami, Florida, and Florida Christian. Number 34, Eddie Grenert, the junior post from Worcester. And then number 44 rounds it out, Garrett Stevenson, the big man down low, standing at 6'7", the senior post from West Milton and Milton Union High School.
Marietta comes in this game 14-0, 7-0 in league play. They're coached by John Vanderwall in his 8th season. He's won 2 OAC tournament titles. Now for your hometown Cardinals. First, running the point guard position will be number 3, Jake Phillips, the sophomore, 5'11", out of Zanesville. And the other guard will be number 22, Chase Moyer, sophomore guard, 6'1", out of Dalton, Ohio. The front court for the Otterbein Cardinals. At forward, number 5, Brian McKenzie, sophomore, 6'2", out of Westlake, Ohio. Joining him, number 32, Mark McEwen, junior forward, 6'6", out of Butler, Ohio. And making his return to the starting lineup after an injury, number 52, Matt Hughes, freshman, 6'5", out of Columbus's Bishop Watterson High School. Otterbein comes in this game 3-11 overall, 2-5 in Ohio Athletic Conference play. These two teams have a long history of playing one another. They first played way back in 1912. Otterbein holds the all-time series advantage, 81-43. Marietta has won the past 2 over the Otterbein Cardinals. Our officials for today's game, Tim Goings, Sullivan Grant, and Rich Phyllis. Otterbein in their home tan uniforms with the Cardinal trim, Cardinal numbering and lettering, the word Otterbein across their chest. Marietta in their visiting blues of deep navy blue with gray piping, lettering, and numbering, the word Marietta across their chest. A very good crowd here at the Reich Center. We're all tuned in and ready for go. We hope you're ready for a good game as well. Going out for the opening tip will be Mark McEwen for Otterbein and Garrett Stevenson at 6'7" for the Pioneers, looking to advance to 15-0 and remain undefeated. Ball's in the air. It's controlled by the Pioneers on the left side of the floor. They hand it off to Raneal Ewing, the former Otterbein Cardinal. He has it at the top of the point, moves his dribble over near side wing, sends it over far side to Stevenson. Three-pointer on the way. Too hard, no good. Jake Phillips gets the rebound for Otterbein underneath the basket. Phillips, who scored 17 in Otterbein's last time out there, brings it across the floor, gets it over to McKenzie on the far side wing. McKenzie calls out a play before he sends it back to Moyer near center circle. Moyer, where he's guarded by Dolman, moves his dribble over near side wing into the corner, tries to get it down low to McEwen. Instead, he gets it to Hughes at the point. Hughes steps inside the three-point arc, sends it back off into the far corner to Phyllis near the half-court stripe. Just 12 on the shot clock as Jake looks to drive, cuts into the lane, picks up his dribble, bounce passes underneath the hoop to Brian McKenzie, goes with a layup under the basket, can't get it to fall, fighting for his own rebound. He can't get it. Gernet's there to pick it up. He sends it across the floor to Ewing, who brings it across the time stripe. Sends it back over near side wing to Dolman, where he's met by Moyer. Over to the free throw line, cutting towards the basket is Garcia. Kicks it back out. 3 on the way, Gernert, and he's able to bury it. Nothing but net that time from the junior out of Worcester.
Yeah, it was a good ball movement. Good job of moving the ball by Marietta right there.
McKenzie has a far side wing now for Otterbein, trailing 3-0. He gets it to Moyer in the corner. Over to Phyllis. Phyllis, near side corner, looks to penetrate. Instead, he'll get it out to McKenzie, far side wing. Down low, lobs it down low. Turnaround jumper on the way from Hughes. Too hard, gets his own rebound in the key. Pump fakes underneath the basket. His second attempt also no good. Some elbows underneath the basket. No fouls called The rebound goes to Ewing as he pushes it across center stripe. Gets it to Stevenson near side wing. Back over in the corner to Garcia. Lobs it down low in the low block. Finds a cutting Dolman to the basket, and it's rejected from behind by Chase Moyer. Moyer picks it up and brings it across half court. 18-20 as he cuts towards the basket. Bounce passes it down low in the low block to Matt Hughes. He pump fakes and gets the layup right of the cylinder. Otterbein on the board, trailing 3-2. 18-11 left in the first half.
Great job by Chase Moyer. Gets the block, goes coast to coast, finds Hughes for the assist. Great play by Moyer.
Ewing has it at the point before he sends it over to Dolman near side wing. Lobs it down low to Garcia. Turns and faces the basket where he posts up on Mark McEwen. Pump fakes, goes up with a quick left. No good, but we're going to have a foul on Mark McEwen underneath the basket. As I say, he got a piece of him that time, and it will send number 34, Eddie Gruner, to the line to shoot his first.
And we'll see if Coach Adrian decides to scrape down on those big posts for Marietta. Marietta averaging inside about 6'5" in size-wise, and right there Mark McEwen was just outmatched, and we'll see if he has got the guards like Chase Moyer as Gernert misses the first one. But see if he has the guards of Chase Moyer as well as Jake Phillips and Brian McKenzie scrape down and get their hand in there and not allow Marietta to make some post moves.
Gernert shooting 72% from the line this year. He missed the first one short. Leads the conference in rebounds this year with 124. His second one sits on the front of the rim before it falls in. Pioneers on top of the Cardinals early 4-2, 17:56 remaining in the first half of the ball game as Jake Phillips brings it across half court for the Otterbein Cardinals, high on the right side of the floor. Bounce passes at near side wing to Chase Moyer. Moyer out to McKenzie at the point. He'll survey the defense where he's guarded by Garcia. Picks up his dribble at the top of the arc, hands it off to a cutting Jake Phillips behind him, sends it over near side corner to Moyer, running along the baseline, stepped out of bounds as he pump faked in the corner and then was trying to work against Garcia driving the baseline, and he stepped out of bounds. Otterbein's first turnover of the game.
Yeah, these refs really letting him play, and right there Dolman just forced Moyer to go down the baseline, gave him a little shove, and Moyer just couldn't hang on and accidentally stepped out of bounds, but good penetration there by Chase Moyer, and we'll see if Otterbein can continue that.
Dolman cuts into the three-point lane as he kicks it out to Ewing in the near side corner where he's met by Jake Phillips, circling the three-point arc. Ewing has it near side wing, trying to penetrate. He's at the top of the key, sends it over to Garcia. Garcia on the far side wing, cuts towards the basket, goes up with a right layup in the key, no good. Pulled down the rebound to Chase Moyer. He brings it down the floor. Moyer trying to find someone open down the floor. Now he'll slow things off. Gets it over to McKenzie on the far side wing. McKenzie working against Dolman. Will get it to Phillips high on the right side floor. Back over to McKenzie in the corner, calling it for a screen on the far side. Goes off of a screen from Mark McEwen, cutting towards the basket, loses possession of the ball, goes out of bounds into Adrian's Army. Otterbein with consecutive turnovers now on their possession.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why Brian McKenzie decided to go baseline there. Didn't even test the screen that Mark McEwen gave him, and I think Coach Adrian's going to talk to him about that because, Brian McKenzie would have been double teamed down in the corner. I don't know if he wanted Mark McEwen to go over and give him a screen, but nonetheless, not a good play there by
McEwen heads to the bench, and he's replaced by Matt Chellis. Marietta has it now on the right side of the floor as they get it over to Ewing. Ewing passes it down low to in the low block where he's working against Chellis. Turn around with the right, and it's knocked down by Eddie Gernert that time, and he gives his team a 6-2 lead with 16:33 remaining in the first half of this ball game here from the right. McKenzie brings it across center stripe for the Otterbein Cardinals. Being double teamed in the backcourt, he looks to break the press as he cuts inside, loses possession of the ball. Another Otterbein turnover. They outlet it deep down the floor to Ewing, who goes off on the layup right in front of the rim, and the former Otterbein Cardinal scores here in the right center. And Marietta up on top of Otterbein, 8-2 now, 4 minutes removed here in the first half as Moyer has it near side wing, goes off of a screen from Hughes, throws it down to Hughes, gets it to Chellis cutting towards the basket. In the low block, pump fakes, too hard, no good. The putback attempt also no good. Garrett Stevenson's there for the rebound for the Pioneers. Sends it down the floor to Garcia, 3 on the way, far side wing, nothing but net as he knocks it down, and we have a timeout on the floor called by Coach Adrian as he feels this one getting away from his team early. 15:53 left in the first half. Otterbein down 11-2.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in this gym have the feeling that this is going to get away from Coach Adrian's team very quickly if they continue to play like this. Turnovers that result in points for Marietta, and with a team that's number 7 in the country, David, you can't not continue to turn the ball over and continue to give them opportunities. And not only that, they're missing open layups down inside in the paint. There, Matt Chellis, yeah, there was a little bit of contact, but that's a layup that he probably should be able to finish right there. And instead of him missing the layup, you got a 4-point turnaround and Marietta coming down and knocking down the three-pointer. So this is a game that right now, if Otterbein does not find a way to get it together, if Coach Adrian cannot get his guys to control the tempo and be able to move the ball and find the open looks, then this is a game that Marietta is going to take very, very quickly from the Cardinals.
Marietta not really known as a three-point shooting team, averaging just about 35% from long range, 2 for 3 in the early goings of this game. We talked about what a stifling defense they were, allowing teams just 64 points per game, tops in the conference, and teams shoot just 38% from the field against them as well. That is also first in the Ohio Athletic Conference.
Well, David, let me tell you, when a team like Marietta starts to get going defensively, and we're watching right now, and Marietta's played pretty well defensively. They forced some turnovers in Otterbein, some that are mostly unforced errors as well. But you look at a team like Marietta, if they get their defense going, their offense is going to come. And right there, Garcia just stepped into that three. He looked as confident as ever, and that's a guy who hasn't even taken a three in this basketball game. So a totally different scenario when Marietta's defense starts to get going.
As expected, Coach Adrian takes as long as possible with the timeout. Back out on the floor, checking into the game for Otterbein is the transfer from Eastern Michigan, Josh Lyle, at the guard spot. 15:45 left in the first half. Otterbein trailing 11-2, moving right to left as we view them. Phyllis has it near side wing where he's guarded by Ewing. Pump fakes as he cuts towards the basket, takes a long two-pointer from 17 feet out at the top of the three-point arc, and he's able to knock it down from long range. 11-4, Otterbein trails now.
Nice hesitation pull up there by Jake Phyllis, and that's what he does so well if he can get that mid-range jumper going.
Three on the way from Garcia, near side wing. No good, too hard, and the rebound goes to Chellis for Otterbein. He'll send it to Jake Phyllis, who brings it across Cardi's chest at center court. Phyllis over on the far side wing. Goes with an in-between-the-leg dribble, cutting towards the basket, kicks it out to Moyer, near side corner. Pump fakes a three, bounce passes in the low block to Hughes. Hughes goes up hard with the left, no good. Chell secures the rebound, swings it out to Jake Phills on the wing. Too high for Phills, goes out of his hands and out of bounds near the scorer's table. The fourth Otterbein turnover of the ball game. Too hard of a pass from Chellis down low to
Coach
Phillis.
Adrian's talking to him about that. He threw that one from his hip with one hand. That's a throw that Matt Chellis, as Coach Adrian was saying, that should be an over-the-head pass right to Phyllis, and instead it was a ball that he threw from the hip, and it rose on him, and it went over Phyllis's head and through his hands.
A.J. Edwards checks in the game for the Pioneers. He'll replace Garrett Stevenson. The Pioneers moving left to right as we view them here from the right center on top, 11-4 with 14:56 left in the first half. Ewing at the free throw line sends a bounce pass down low to a cutting A.J. Edwards, who's there for a layup on the left side of the rim, just checked into the game, and he gives his team a 13-4 lead now. Otterbein with possession of the ball on the left side of the floor. They get it to Lyle, far side wing, lobs it down low in the low block to Chellis, working underneath the basket, and we have an offensive foul underneath the hoop on Matt Chellis for Otterbein. Lowered his shoulder a little bit too much and got it into the Pioneer defender. That'll be Chellis' first, team second.
Yeah, and I think Chellis is a little frustrated there with the defense of Edwards, because right there, Edwards had a good body on Chellis, and he just threw that elbow and a nice charge there. Marietta has the ball back.
Marietta's turn with the basketball as Reneel Ewing has it over on the far side wing. Bounce passes it near side wing to Stegman. Stegman back over to Ewing on the far side wing. Gets it to Dolman at the top of the point. Dolman with a fancy dribble will hand it back off to Gurnett, who looks to cut towards the basket, working against Lyle. Over to Ewing, far side wing. Lobs it down into the low block to Edwards, spinning, going up with a left. No good. Down low for the rebound is Stegman, and can't get the shot to fall, but we have a whistle and a foul underneath the hoop, and that'll be the Otterbein Cardinals' third of the half as they're going to get it on number 41. On Matt Hughes. That'll be his first, team's third.
I agreed with you, David. I thought it looked like Chellis.
On the right baseline, Ewing will look to inbound. He gets it quickly to Dolman, passes up a two-pointer, dribbles outside the arc, gets it to Stegman at the point, near side wing, back to Ewing, looking to get it down low to someone, finds a cutting Garcia to the hoop, who kicks it back out to Stegman. A three on the way from the point, off the crossbar, no good. Ball secured by Stegman in the backcourt, gets his own rebound, kicks it out to Dolman, far side wing, penetrating towards the basket, throws it down low, trying to get it to Edwards, and we have
a 3-second call. Yep.
Something you don't see very often called in basketball, but they're going to get the Pioneers for the 3-second violation. And that'll turn the ball back over to Otterbein.
Yeah, you mentioned it. It's not something you normally see, especially from the referee, who was looking to see if Dolman was going to step out of bounds as he drove baseline. Good call there by the official.
13-4, Otterbein trailing, 13:41 left in the first half. Chellis has that point for Otterbein now. Now he's going to call out for a play. Gets it to Lyle near side wing, working against Garcia. Picks up his dribble, being double-teamed, hands it back off to Chellis near center circle. Bounce passes it high on the right to Jake Phillips with just 12 on the shot clock for Jake, working against Reneel Ewing. Moves his dribble over to the far side wing. Jake going off of a screen from Hughes, a backdoor cut pass to him. Hughes has it in the low block, spinning, and has it tipped out from behind, and they're going to say that, was that off the hand? They're going to call a foul on Reneel Ewing. So they're going to say Ewing, while he got a piece of the ball and knocked it out of bounds, he got a piece of Matt Hughes as well, and that'll send Otterbein's freshman from Bishop Watterson High School, who's making his first appearance back in the starting lineup after missing the past two games with a knee injury, and his first one is up, and it swishes in. Substitutions into the game for Coach John Vanderwall. We're going to see number 1, Dylan Young, check into the game, as well as number 11, Keith Richardson, the sophomore out of Inglewood, Ohio, went to Northmont High School.
And this is a time right now for the Cardinals to get back in the game because Marietta has put in the young guys. And while those guys don't have a ton of experience, still very talented, but this is the time where Otterbein really needs to pounce on a Marietta team that does not have that experience in the game right now.
Hughes makes the pair as we see Grant Finner checked in the game for Otterbein. He will replace Chase Moyer. Cardinals trailing 13-6. 13-13 left in the first half. Marietta with the basketball on the right side of the floor as Young cuts towards the basket, takes a jumper from the free throw line. No good. Stegman gets the rebound down low, and there for the putback under the basket is A.J. Edwards, left of the cylinder. They've been really physical underneath the basket to start this game off, Elijah, and they're up top 15-6 now as Phyllis has it. He cuts towards the hoop, gets it to Chellis underneath the basket. Chellis pump fakes, goes up with a second time and gets it to fall with a layup left of the rim. Good move by Chellis to fool the defender that time. Otterbein cuts it to a 15-8 ball game.
Matt Chellis needs to continue to do that, be physical inside.
Young, far side wing, tries to get it to Edwards. Edwards saves it from going out of bounds on the right baseline to Garcia, cuts towards the basket, up and under, layup on the left side of the rim, gets it right over top of Matt Chellis, and his team has a 9-point advantage, 17-8. Phyllis at the point now, circles the three-point arc, cuts down towards the low block, goes up with a layup, and he gets the bank shot to fall left of the rim. Otterbein in double figures now, 17-10, 12-17 left in the first half.
And you mentioned it, David Phyllis. He likes to try and take over a game, and right now he needs to do that for the Cardinals. Came up with a huge bucket there.
Garcia at the free throw line will send it back out to Young, where he's met by Finner, moves his dribble over to the point, gets it to Richardson, near side wing, lobs it down low to Edwards, posting up on Chellis, gets past him. He's rejected from behind by Grant Finner as he put a nice little spin move on Hughes, but we're going to have a foul on Otterbein. On Matt Chellis, that'll be his second, team's fourth.
And I'm going to agree with Coach Adrian right now. He's talking with the official, and he's pretty animated about it. But Matt Chellis, he got hacked down there. No call. Matt Chellis finishes the shot. But right there, Edwards looked like Chellis got the majority of the ball. But if these referees are going to let him play, let him play. But if they're going to be inconsistent like that, this could be a long day for Otterbein inside, especially with the physicality of Marietta as Edwards knocks the first one down.
Edwards gets the first one. Not a lot of experience from the line this year, but he is pretty sharp when he does get there. He's now 7 of 9 from the charity stripe. We're going to see Aaron Malley, the freshman out of River Valley High School in Marion, checking the game, and he'll replace Matt Chellis, who has 2 fouls. Also checking the game for the Pioneers, number 23, A.J. Ireland, the junior out of Miami, Florida, as Edwards knocks down the pair, and his team has a 19-10 lead with 12 minutes left in the first half. Jake Phillips brings it across half court for the Otterbein Cardinals. Last year's OAC Freshman of the Year, looking to penetrate to the basket again, but before he can cut to the hoop, we have a foul on the Pioneers away from the ball. They're going to get it on number 11. That is number Keith Richardson, the sophomore guard. That'll be his first, team second of the half. Otterbein down by 9, 11:51 remaining as the inbound pass goes to Phyllis, who's standing on the Dick Reynolds logo high on the right side of the floor. Goes off of a screen from Hughes. Now he throws it to Hughes, who pump fakes a two-pointer. Inside the arc, cuts towards the basket, goes with a hook shot in the key, no good. The rebound pulled down by Stegman. He'll outlet it to Richardson, who kicks it over to Young, far side wing. Three-pointer on the way, and the freshman out of Logan Elm High School is able to bury it, and that's the third three-point field goal of the game for the Pioneers, who have their largest lead of the ball game at 12, 22-10. Otterbein with the basketball on the right side of the floor. It's Young, who has yet to take a shot. He's at the point working against Young, gets it over to Phyllis, far side wing, off of a screen from Hughes, cuts towards the basket. Now he's going to back out his dribble, being double teamed, gets it to Hughes on the baseline, long two-pointer on the way from 10 feet out, no good, and the rebound is pulled down by Stegman. He'll hand it off to Richardson, who's at the point. Keith Richardson will hand it back off behind him, over to Young now, near side wing, working against Hughes. Young bounce passes it down low into the low block to Edwards, posting up, goes up with a hook shot, well short, and the rebound goes to Grant Finner for Otterbein, who pushes it down the floor. Finner high on the left side of the floor where he's guarded tightly by Young, gets past him, cuts towards the hoop, takes a leaning jumper from about 10 feet out on the right side of the lane, no good. Rebound goes to Young for the Pioneers. Pump fakes a three-pointer, gets it over, near side corner. Ireland's gonna let a three-pointer fly, and he's able to knock it down. Marietta, 4 of 7 from long range now, and they have a 15-point lead, 25-10, with 10 minutes and 23 seconds left in the first half of this ball game. Phillips gets it to Finner, near side wing. Finner trying to find someone down low. He doesn't have anyone in the low post. Gets it over to Lyle, where he's working against Young on the far side wing. Lyle lifts the drive, takes a fadeaway jumper, no good, can't get the bank shot to fall. Rebound secured underneath the basket, that time by A.J. Edwards. He'll get it to Keith Richardson, who looks to push it down the floor into the lane, and we have no basket, and they're gonna call gonna be a foul on Otterbein. Otterbein fans don't like it as they come to their feet. They're gonna say They want to say that Keith Richardson acted a little bit.
I'm not sure that that ball should not be counted. I don't know. That was a good play there by Keith Richardson as he took it hard to the hole. Timeout is going to be called here. It's going to be 30 seconds for Otterbein, but you know, Coach Adrian really talking to his team right now, just telling him to calm down a little bit. I think, David, in this past couple of minutes, we're seeing Otterbein get a little out of control. They're taking shots early in the shot clock that are not very good shots, and even Matt Hughes' jumper, I know he was open down in the short corner, but that's a shot where maybe you pull it back out, give it to Jake Phillips, and let him go to work and try and penetrate in the lane and find something open inside or what he can create. But this is a time right now where really it's the turning point of the game. It's a 15-point game. You're not out of it yet, but you're still not in it. You got to find a way to crawl back in, and we'll see if Otterbein can do that. And, you know, I mentioned that right now this is the time when they needed to pounce on a Marietta team that has a lot of young guns in the game. Well, these young guys, man, they came to play, David, and right now it's shown. And Marietta on the scoreboard shooting the ball very well.
Brian McKenzie and Mark McEwen checking the game for Otterbein. They will replace Chellis and Matt Hughes. Marietta looks to inbound from the right baseline. A long pass goes to Stevenson, looks down low to try to bounce it to Gerner in the low post, and it's off of his hands, goes out of bounds. Coach John Vanderwall does not like the call at all, and he's going to give a piece of his mind to the official. He thought that an Otterbein player poked it loose from behind before it went out of bounds, but that will be a turnover on the Pioneers. It'll be their second of the game. 9:56 left in the first half. The Tanna Cardinal trailing to the blue and gray, 25-10 here at the Reich Center. Phillips brings it across half court for Otterbein, working against Richardson. Phillips looks to take over, cuts towards the basket, underneath the baseline, gets it to McKenzie, and McKenzie is going to have a foul as he caught the pass and went up for a little shot, and they're going to get it on, let's see, number 23, A.J. Ireland. That'll be his first, team's third. They're going to call it a shooting foul, so that will send Otterbein sophomore forward out of Westlake to the left line to shoot two.
Yeah, Brian McKenzie, he's been pretty good from the foul line. He also gets there a very good amount this season.
First one on the way from McKenzie, and it dances on the front of the rim, and it falls in. Like you said, 71% from the line this year, 37 of 48 coming into this game. He led all Otterbein players in free throws attempted and free throws made. Second one on the way from McKenzie, and he's perfect 2 for 2 from the line, and that'll cut the deficit to 25-12 with 9:40 remaining in the first half as they get it over on the far side wing to Young. Young looks to go off of a screen, lobs it down low to Stevenson in the low block, working against Hughes, cuts underneath the basket, has it rejected away by Malley, and it goes out of bounds. Phillips tried to do a nice job of saving it from going out of bounds, but what a job by the big guy, Malley, down low to knock it away from the much taller Garrett Stevenson.
Otterbein's got to be physical inside. Right now they are, but they have to continue that play if they want to stay in this game.
Quick bounce pass goes to Ireland, who tries to get it down low to Stevenson. Again, tipped away. It's into the hands of Young, who finds Stevenson underneath the basket, who's there for the layup on the right side of the rim. 27-12, Pioneers on top of the Cardinals. 9:18 remaining in the first half as Jake Phillips brings it across the time stripe. Working against Keith Richardson. Now he's going to be double teamed high on the left side of the floor. Gets it to Moyer. Back over to McEwen at the point to McKenzie. Far side wing. McKenzie tries to find someone down low. Gets it over to Phyllis at the point. Jake calling out for a screen now. Going to go off of a screen from Malley over to the far side wing to McEwen. Cuts towards the basket into the lane. Goes up with a free throw in front of the rim. McEwen's there for the rebound on the miss. He can't get his putback to fall, but there is a whistle and a foul on Mark McEwen. And we're going to see him head to the line to shoot a pair. That foul is on number 44, Garrett Stevenson. Stevenson's first, team's fourth, and we get to see Mark McEwen go to the line for the first time today and try to get in the scoring column for the first time today.
Yeah, he's another guy that, David, when he gets in the game, he looks to get to the foul line, and we'll see if he can convert.
He can, as his first one spins in. 83% from the line this year is Mark McEwen. Three guys check into the game for Coach John Vanderwall. It's number 3, Andy Dolman, number 24, Luis Garcia, and number 5, Reneel Ewing.
So, yeah, you know, now you got that experience back in the game. You got the starters back in. We'll see if Marietta can find a way to pull away in this game. Only up 13 right now. Otterbein, this is, again, the turning point pretty much of this ball game if they can cut this to a single-digit lead.
Coach Adrian hasn't substituted as much as we're used to seeing him do so. 8:48 remaining in the first half. His team trailing 27-14. Ewing will send it over to Garcia on the far side wing. Lobs it down low into the low block to Stevenson. Working against Hughes. He spins, goes up with his left, and gets it to fall on the left side of the rim. 29-14. Pioneers on top of Otterbein now.
Just too big. So much length there from Stevenson.
McKenzie will have it at the point. He'll throw it over to Moyer. Pump fakes a three-pointer on the wing before he sends it into the near side corner to Phillips. Phillips circles the three-point arc, gets it back out to McKenzie, far side wing, hands it off to Chase Moyer. Moyer cutting towards the basket, takes a jumper from the free throw line. Nothing but net for Chase Moyer, his first points of the ball game, and that makes it 29-16 now as Ewing brings it down the floor for the Pioneers. He looks to penetrate, kicks it out Stevenson, hands it off to Garcia near side wing. Garcia cuts towards the basket, into the key at the free throw line, passes it off. Three-pointer on the way from the point, too hard, no good for Dolman. Rebound secured at the free throw line for McKenzie, who hands it off to Jake Phillips. Phillips cutting to the lane, and he splits two Pioneer defenders and gets a layup on the left side of the rim. Phillips taking over this game right around. He's got 6 points now, 29-18. 7:45 remaining in the first half.
Keep giving the ball to Jake Phillips if you're Otterbein right now. He's hot. He's working well inside.
Ewing with a turnaround in the low block. Can't get it to go. Gets his own rebound, the putback on the right side of the rim this time. And Renil Ewing gets it to fall, and he's up to 6 points in this game as well, 31-18. Otterbein trailing.
Otterbein just not doing the little things right now, not boxing out, and Marietta is capitalizing on it.
Otterbein with possession of the basketball on the left side of the floor. McKenzie has it on the high right side. He'll hand it off to Chase Moyer near center circle. Gets it over to Phillips on the wing. Bounce passes it down low. Looking for Malley, and it's intercepted away by Garrett Stevenson, who gets it to Ewing. Brings it across the floor. Looking to go down low for Eddie Gernert, but it is tipped out of bounds. Good job by Matt Hughes to get his hand in there like a cornerback and knock that one out of bounds, but it will be off of the hands of Hughes and remain with Marietta on the right side of the floor. Ewing lobs it into the high block to Stevenson. He'll hand it off to Garcia, who circles around him. Garcia cuts towards the basket, goes up with a layup, has it turned away by Brian McKenzie, but they're going to get McKenzie for a shooting foul that time, and that'll send Garcia to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, Otterbein just not moving their feet very well right now, and Marietta just a step ahead, but again, Marietta, number 7 in the country. It's a little bit of what we expected here in this first half, but Jake Phil is doing all he can.
Garcia, the junior guard, the best free throw shooter in the conference. He's now 44 of 46 from the line this year, 95%. That is tops in the conference for number 24 for the Pioneers as he knocks down the first one. The junior out of Miami, Florida, went to Florida Christian. He misses the second one. The rebound secured by the Pioneers. They get it back out to Garcia. He loses possession of it, and Moyer picks it up. Moyer on a fast break, moving right to left. His layup right of the rim is no good. Rebound goes to Ewing. He looks to score in transition now. Bounce passes it into the low block, and there for the layup is Eddie Gernert. Great pass from Ewing. You can credit him with the assist on that one.
Yeah, good play there by Renil Ewing. Blocks the shot, takes it coast to coast, and a nice no-look assist pass in between two Otterbein players.
Lyle has it at the point now for Otterbein, working against Ewing. Over to Moyer, lobs it down low into the low block to Hughes, turns and faces the basket, gets out to McKenzie. McKenzie near side wing, steps inside the three-point out to the point to Moyer, over to Lyle on the far side wing. Back out to Hughes at the free throw line. Hughes looks to penetrate, running down the left side of the lane, kicks it out. Moyer, wide open three-pointer from the corner, and he buries it. Otterbein's first three-point attempt and make of the game, 34-21. They trail now. At the top of the three-point arc, another three on the way from Gernert, and he's able to bury it. The big guy knocks down his second three-pointer of the game, and he's up to 11 points in this game now. 37-21, Otterbein trails. 6 minutes remain in the first half of our ball game. Moyer circling the three-point arc, hits it over to Lyle in the corner. Lyle running along the baseline, goes up with a shot, has it rejected away from behind by Ewing. Ewing picks it up and brings it across half court. Ewing at the top of the point being double-teamed. Now he's going to slow things down, brings it center circle, throws it over to Garcia. Three on the way before the shot is off, though. We have a whistle and a foul on the floor.
It's going to be on Stevenson. He set an illegal screen, and he saw that Brian McKenzie was going to fight over that screen. Kind of grabbed him, gave him a little hold there, but pretty much anything you can do, get a body on him, is always what the coach says. But
Stevenson second, team's fifth of the half. Otterbein will substitute Clayton Schaefer into the game, the freshman out of Centerburg, his first playing time so far today. And he will be playing down low for Otterbein now as they trail 37-21. Moyer picks up his dribble high on the right where he's guarded tightly by Dolman. He gets it over to Lyle where it's intercepted by Renil Ewing. Ewing would have had a fast break layup or possibly dunk on the right side of the floor, but before he can take off, we're going to have a foul on the floor. And Coach John Vanderwall, again, has not liked the officiating of the referees so far, as he's letting them know that he was not a fan of that foul on Ewing before he could pick his back pocket. That's the second of the game on Ewing, team sixth.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Coach Vanderwall there. I know it was, he definitely did push off, but I think it was after that he got the steal on Josh Lyle there. So again, a questionable call, but these referees have been inconsistent both ways, and that's normally what you expect out of referees.
The inbound pass goes to Jake Phillips. Phillips will send it over to Moyer on the far side wing, working against Dolman to Lyle at the point. Lyle surveying the defense, working against Garcia. Throws it quickly to Phillips. Bounce passes it back out to Lyle. 3 on the way. Too hard off the crossbar. And the rebound secured by Dolman on the far side of the floor. At the wing, he bounce passes it down to the low block. Posting up against Schaefer. Spinning, going up with the right. Sits on the front of the rim, and it falls in for Eddie Gerner. And he's got 13 points in the game. Leads all scorers. 39-21. Otterbein struggling to claw their way back into this game. 4:50 left in the first half. Moyer picks up his dribble at the point, spins, gives it over to Hughes. Hughes will hand it back off behind him to Lyle. Lyle being trapped now as he picks up his dribble, gets it to Schaefer at the point. Schaefer trying to hand it off. He does so to Jake Phillips. Back over to Lyle, far side wing. 14 on the shot clock for the Tanner Cardinal now. Going off of a screen from Clayton Schaefer. Trapped in the corner now as he picks up his dribble, throws it to Hughes. Hughes has got to get off a shot quickly. He takes a long two-pointer from the wing from 15 feet out. No good. The rebound goes to Gerner. He'll hand it off to Richardson. Richardson throws it underneath the basket, and the shot is no good as Dolman went up with a layup, but going up even higher was Hughes, and they're going to Hughes for the foul on Dolman. As a little pump fake that time from Dolman confused Hughes, and he ran right into him for a foul, and it will send Andy Dolman, the senior out of West Virginia, Parkersburg, West Virginia, to the line.
Yeah, that was a good play there, though, by Richardson. Pretty much created the play, jumps in the air like he's going to shoot it, no-look pass, down low to Dolman, and he had a wide-open layup if Matt Hughes was not able to use athleticism to get there and create the foul. But right now, David Otterbein, this game pretty much getting out of hand.
Hughes second, team 7th of the half, so Marietta will be shooting 1-1 the rest of the way as Dolman knocks down the first of the shooting foul. His first trip to the line so far today on the season, shooting 86% from the free throw line, and he knocks down the pair. 41-21, Marietta with their biggest lead of the game at 20 points now with 4:15 remaining in the first half of our ball game. David Kinder along with Elijah Gonzalez here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network. McKenzie, who just checked in the game, has it on the near side wing right in front of Coach Vanderwall. Circles the three-point arc, got it at the point, picks up his dribble. Being pressured now, gets it off to Hughes. Hughes finds a cutting Chase Moyer underneath the basket. Moyer can't convert on his layup underneath the hoop, but he is fouled. And Chase Moyer, who is 2 for 2 from the charity stripe today, will have a chance to go right back to the line and shoot a pair. That foul is going to go on number 1, Dylan Young. That'll be his first, and team's 7th of the half, so Otterbein also in the bonus now. First on the way from Chase Moyer is up, and it's good. Substitutions into the game now for Coach Vanderwall. We'll see Dylan Young check into the game as well as number 23, A.J. Ireland. They'll replace Garcia and Dolman. Moyer eyes up the second one, and he hits both of them. So Otterbein trails now 41-23, 3:57 left to go in the first half of our ball game as Ewing will bring it across half court. Richardson will bring it across half court. Bounce passes it far side wing to Dolman. Dolman going off a screen, cuts towards the basket, picks up his dribble at the free throw line, back out to Richardson, near side wing in front of the Otterbein bench. Gets it to cutting Davis, who is there, or Edwards, excuse me, who's there for the layup on the left side of the rim. A nice pass that time from Richardson. And it's back to a 20-point ball game with 3:33 remaining in the first half. McKenzie has it far side wing, trying to find someone down low. Instead, he'll get it to Phyllis. Phyllis at the point, working against Richardson. Jake looking to go off of a screen from Hughes and tries to throw it down low. It's kicked away into the backcourt. Fighting for it is Richardson. He picks it up near the baseline, goes with a fake layup under the basket, and he gets it with a little fake move that time. Thought it might have been a kickball, but the officials felt otherwise. 45-23 now, the Pioneers on top. Phillips being double teamed near center circle. Gets it off to McKenzie, near side wing. Trying to go down low to Hughes. Instead, he'll take his dribble out to the point. Cuts towards the basket, hands it off to Moyer, far side wing. Again off of a screen from Hughes. Picks up his dribble. Back over to McKenzie, far side wing. Lobs it down low to Hughes. Hughes turns around, faces the basket. Gets it out to Phillips. Phillips lets a three-pointer fly from the wing. No good. Rebound goes to Richardson, who brings it down the floor for the Pioneers. Richardson takes a long jumper from the elbow. No good. There for the rebound for the Pioneers is number 1, Dylan Young. He can't get it to convert. Another rebound for the Pioneers. Put back. No good, but we have a whistle and a foul down low on Otterbein. They're going to get it on number 34, Clayton Schaefer. That'll be Schaefer's first, team's 8th, and that will send the Pioneers to the charity stripe where they've been pretty good today.
Yeah, they've been pretty good, David, and down low, Otterbein just really has not played much defense down inside, and Marietta has dominated, and they've dominated on the glass, and I think that's really been the difference so far in this basketball game. Is the first one's missed by Edwards, but inside, we talked about it. Marietta has the size. They got guys standing about 6'7", and they average around the area of 6'5", but right now, Otterbein just being outmanned down low, and the rebounding total shows it.
Mark McEwen checks in the game for Coach Adrian. He'll replace Clayton Schaefer, who just got the foul. Edwards eyes up the second one, and he makes one of two. 46-23 now at the 3-point lead for the Pioneers, their largest of the ball game, as Matt Hughes brings it across the time stripe for Otterbein. Bounce passes it to a cutting McKenzie towards the basket, and credit the assist that time to Matt Hughes to find the wide open McKenzie, who's there for the layup on the right side of the rim. Marietta's turn with the basketball now as Ireland has it. Bounce passes it over to Young on the far side wing, working against Chase Moyer. Lobs it down low to Edwards, posting up on McEwen, and we have a traveling foul underneath the basket on number 32, A.J. Edwards. Good defense that time by Mark McEwen to force him into that carry.
Yeah, and that was really one of the first times that we've seen Otterbein defensively down low be able to force a turnover like that. So we'll see if they can continue that and turn it around here. But I mentioned the rebounding totals 20-9 in favor of Marietta right now.
And they're also in favor on the scoreboard, 46-25. 2 minutes left in the first half. Phillips has it high on the right side of the floor. Bounce passes it over on the far side wing to Moyer. Moyer gets it over to McKenzie to the near side wing. Tries to lob it down low to Hughes, but we have a whistle and a holding foul on Marietta before he can get the pass off, and they're going to get it on number 32 for the Pioneers, A.J. Edwards. His first, team's 8th, so Otterbein will have a chance to go to the line for the 1-and-1, and it will be Matt Hughes, the freshman out of Bishop Waterson High School, who will shoot from the left line. Hughes is 2 for 2 today from the charity stripe, has 4 points in the game. Looking to get his 8th right here. It's on the way, and nothing but nylon for the freshman. Pretty decent student section here tonight as well, Elijah, not to cut you off there, but first game that we've been back at the Reich that all the students have been back for spring semester, and they've packed in Adrian's Army as Hughes makes both of them, 46-26 now.
9 of 9 from the foul line for the Cardinals, if you can take away a positive so far in this game.
Richardson brings it across half court, 46-27 now. A minute 40 left in the first half of our ball game. Ireland has it near side wing, pump fakes a 3, lobs it down low to Edwards, working against McEwen in the paint, goes up with a shot, and he's double teamed down low, hits the deck hard. We have a whistle and a shooting foul on, they're gonna get that on Mark McEwen.
Jake Phillips, I believe, actually. Let's see.
Yeah, you're right.
On Jake Phillips. I'm not sure where he was in the play.
Phillips looked to be well away from the ball. To me, I thought it was on McEwen, but they're going to get it on Phillips. That'll be his second, team's 9th. So we will see a 1-and-1 attempt on the way from A.J. Edwards.
Yeah, and David, actually, I as Edwards misses the first, you thought it was on McEwen. I actually thought it was on Matt Hughes. I thought he reached in. So there's a couple of places that I guess you could have called the foul, but the referee thought Jake Phillips was there.
They have a little bit better viewpoint than we do, though, way up here in the press box.
I don't know. We're right about 95% of the time, I'd say.
As both of them are made that time by A.J. Edwards. You were just letting the officials have it today. This is your first game back in 3 games. I guess you got to get all the complaining out early.
Well, hey, I'm doing it both ways. They've been pretty poor for both teams so far, but they're letting them play occasionally, and then, they're tightening it up. So we'll see what they decide to do in the second half.
It's a 20-point ball game with a minute 20 left as Moyer has it near side wing, cuts towards the basket, but we have a whistle and a foul before he can do so. And that one will be...
Let the record show I agree with that call.
And we will see Chase Moyer go to the line for the Otterbein Cardinals. That foul was on number 23, A.J. Ireland, his second, team's 9th. Elijah gives approval to the ref's call, so we'll take it. Moyer shooting into the side with the students on it as he knocks down the first of the 1-and-1. We're going to see Garcia check back into the game for Coach John Vanderwall, and he'll replace Ireland, who's got 2 fouls now.
Otterbein now 11 of 11 from the foul line. Looking pretty good so far from the charity stripe.
Moyer 2 for 2. He's got 7 points to lead all Otterbein scores. He's now 3 for 3, and he's up to 8 points in the ball game. 47-29, Otterbein trails. A minute 17 remains in the first half. Pioneers with the basketball on the right side of the floor as Young circles the 3-point arc. He'll get it, and it's intercepted away by Chase Moyer that time, who picked his back pocket. Moyer with a no-look bounce pass to McKenzie on the right side of the rim, and McKenzie gets it to fall. That'll cut the deficit to 47-31. What a great pass from Chase Moyer. Wasn't even looking that time at McKenzie.
Yeah, great pass there as it was a 3-on-1 situation. Looked towards his left and saw no one was there and made the pass to McKenzie. Right now, Otterbein just trying to cut the deficit before half.
Marietta cuts towards the basket. Garcia goes up with a difficult shot along the baseline on the left side of the rim, and we're going to have a foul underneath the hoop. And Elijah is correct. It's on McKenzie, number 5. That'll be his second, team's 10th, so that will put Marietta in the double bonus, and we'll see Garcia shoot a pair here. He's 2 for 2 from the line so far today, has 6 points, and now you can make that 7 as he knocks down the first. Phyllis heads over from talking to Coach Adrian back into the ball game.
He actually is 2 for 3 from the line, as he did miss that one, but now he's 3 for 4.
And he knocks down the second one, and that'll make it a 49-31 game. And we are under a minute to play here in the Reich Center, 45 seconds as Jake Phillips brings it across the time stripe for Otterbein. Phillips moves it over towards the near side wing. In between the legs dribble, gets it to Hughes at the top of the key, over to McKenzie, far side wing, where he's met by Garcia. Pump fakes a pass, now he penetrates towards the basket, kicks it out free throw line, 3 on the way from the corner for Chase Moyer, and he's able to knock it down. Moyer, 2 for 2 from behind the arc, and he's got 12 points to lead Otterbein in scoring. 22 seconds left in the first half. The shot clock's turned off, and it looks like the Pioneers are content on making this their final possession of the first half. Down to 12 seconds, up 49-34 as Richardson has it high on the left side of the floor, gets it to Garcia, far side wing, going off of a screen, cuts towards the basket. Just 5 seconds left on the shot clock now, kicks it out, and it's intercepted away by Jake Phillips. Phillips has to hurry now, 1 second, throws it to McKenzie underneath the basket, and the buzzer expires as he's making the throw. Otterbein just ran out of time there, but a nice way to end the first half for Otterbein, coming up with that steal and holding them to no points on the final possession. But the buzzer does sound, and that brings us to the end of the first half. The Cardinals trailing the Pioneers, who are undefeated, 49-34. We're going to take our first break of the halftime program. When we come back, though, we'll give you statistics, analysis from this game, scores from around the Ohio Athletic Conference, and, of course, the trivia question. 49-34 Otterbein trails at halftime. You're listening to Cardinal Basketball on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, 97.5. We'll be right back.
Hey Westerville, did you know there is only one showcase on WOBN that features country music? I am talking about Campus Country. I'm here every Monday night at 8 playing the best country music. There's always time for country artist news, and on my show, you'll get to hear the newest songs and unreleased songs that you can't hear on those big stations. So tune into Campus Country every Monday night at 8 o'clock right here on your college radio station, 97.5 The Wild Card.
WOBN 97.5 is your seat to Cardinal basketball this season. WOBN will have live coverage of 25 men's and women's basketball games. Be sure to tune in for the pregame show 15 minutes before tip-off and stay with us after the game for stats, analysis, and player and coach interviews. Check out WOBN.net for a complete broadcast schedule.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
This is Marshall Crum, senior forward on your Otterbein basketball team, and you're listening to Cardinal Basketball on 97.5 WOBN, Westerville, Ohio, your source for Otterbein athletics.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
Warm fleece on a cold day. I want to be a bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Today is Saturday. 60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov. A message from USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
This presentation of Otterbein basketball on the radio is brought to you by our sponsors: Ohio Health, Roush Honda, BMI Federal Credit Union, and Westerville Automotive.
I used to be one of those irresponsible guys, always goofing off and acting like a real jerk. Girls wouldn't give me the time of day. Hey, Julie, do you have the time?
Shut up.
Then, 30 days before my 18th birthday, I went down to my local post office and registered with Selective Service. Overnight. I became aware of the man I had suddenly become, eligible for federal student loans, government jobs, and job training, responsible and mature. Hi, Julie. Dinner tonight?
I'd love to, Brad.
So register with Selective Service. It's what a man's gotta do.
(49-34) is our score at intermission here at the Wright Center. The Otterbein Cardinals trailing the undefeated and OAC's top-ranked Pioneers, who come to this game, this number 7 team in all of Division III college basketball. I'm David Kinder, Elijah Gonzalez joining me, and you're listening to the BMI Halftime Show, brought to you by BMI Federal Credit Union, open to everyone who lives, works, worships, or attends schools in Franklin, Licking, Fairfield, Madison, Union, Delaware, or Morrow County. BMI Credit Union is federally insured by the National Credit Union Administration. As we said, Otterbein trailing right now 49-34. Let's get you your halftime statistics. First, for the visiting Pioneers, shooting a 17 of 30 from the field. That's 56%. They're 5 of 9 from long range, have knocked down 10 of 14 free throws, 20 rebounds, 8 of them on the offensive side of the ball. They've turned the ball over 6 times, and they have led the entire game. Otterbein is 10 of 25 from the field, 40%, 2 for 3 from long range, a perfect 12 for 12 from the charity stripe. They've turned the ball over 7 times. They have 9 rebounds, 3 of them offensively, and have never led in this game. Some of the individual statistics for the visiting Pioneers, leading the way in scoring, it's Gerner. He's got 13, perfect, 5 for 5 from the field, 2 of them behind the arc. He is paced in scoring by A.J. Edwards, who has 10, and right behind him is Garcia, who has 8. Ewing has 4 as well, does Garrett Stevenson. For Otterbein, the leading scorer right now at the break is Chase Moyer. Moyer's got 12 points. He's 3 for 4 from the field, including Otterbein's only 2 3-pointers in this game. 3 guys are tied for second place with 6 points, including Jake Phillips, Brian McKenzie, and Matt Hughes. And rounding out the leading scorers with 2 points apiece is Mark McEwen and Matt Chells for Otterbein. So as we said, a 15-point deficit, Elijah, for Otterbein at the halftime break. Marietta only giving up 64 points per game. You're on pace to get over top of that right now. They only average allowing 38% on defensive field goal percentage. You're on top of that right now. So while you're trailing at halftime, there's still some positives to take away.
Yeah, there are some positives. And like we mentioned, one of the positives, David, I've been saying it pretty much this whole entire half, 12 for 12 from the foul line. That is something really to hang your hat on. If you could shoot the ball that well from the foul line, you know, I know Marietta's playing well right now, and they're playing some pretty good basketball, but against a team not of Marietta's caliber, that alone could be keeping you in this game right now. Now, one thing that I look at and say, you know, this is something that really has to be corrected at halftime is the rebound totals. The rebound totals totally in favor of Marietta. Marietta has 20 rebounds, Otterbein only with 9. That really is an alarming total, but if you're Otterbein, you have to be happy with the way that you did not turn the ball over late in that first half. 7 turnovers in the first half, but you're looking like on pace to stay below your average in turnovers, which is around 16 to 17 per game. So if you're Otterbein, you're holding onto the ball right now. It's really going to boil down to, David, can they stop Marietta inside? Marietta has been physical. They have been able to play very well inside in the post. Guys like Garrett Stevenson, along with Gerner, those have been the guys that have really been able to step in, but this is definitely the key, though, right now for Otterbein. If they can stop Marietta inside, they'll have a chance to crawl their way back in this game.
49-34, it's Marietta on top of the Otterbein Cardinals. You're listening to the BMI Halftime Show. I'm David Kinder, along with Elijah Gonzalez on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network. As you can hear, the Pet Band performing here at halftime, and the Pioneers, as we said, 14-0, trying to become the first team in the OAC to finish the season undefeated since the 1933 Cardinals, who went 12-0 that year, won the school's first ever league title in any sport. 81 years since an OAC school's done it. Almost seems impossible.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but you know, again, it's a lot to take on, and really. This Marietta team, from what I've seen so far, David, they got an opportunity to do it, and they're a pretty darn good basketball team.
And as we look down the top scorers for Otterbein, it seems like every single game it's a different guy that's leading the way in scoring for Otterbein. Last game was Josh Lyle, who is 0 for 3 from the field so far in this game with no points. This game, it's Chase Moyer, who's 3 for 4 from the field, also has Otterbein's only 2 3-point field goals, and they came at pretty big times. He's got 12 points. Moyer playing pretty well, and he's had a couple really nice passes as well.
Yeah, he really has. He's been really doing it all. And Chase Moyer has these games that he does that. He's able to create off the dribble, and not only that, he's able to create for himself without the ball. And we've seen that, David. On those 2 3-pointers, he was able to find the open spot in the man-to-man. When Phillips penetrated, everyone collapsed on Jake Phillips. They kicked it out, and Moyer was wide open for that 3. So if Chase Moyer can continue to create for himself, Otterbein could be in good shape. And Jake Phillips really just being Jake Phillips. He's been a guy that has been so consistent through his career here at Otterbein so far. And obviously we expect in his junior and senior year for him to have an even better career than he's had so far. But that's been a guy that has really just been so solid for Otterbein. And again, he just every game he's continued that consistency throughout. And if he can continue that right now, and if Otterbein can have their role players step up, one of those guys, including Josh Lyle, if he can step up and make some big shots down the stretch, again, this game is not out of reach. It's 15 points, and Marietta, a very good basketball team. Expect them to hold that lead. This game, very much not out of reach, though.
We want to thank everyone for joining us here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network. We're also simulcasting on Otterbein TV, so if you're viewing in that way and hearing us, we want to thank everyone for tuning into this game, however you're doing so, whether it's on WOBN.net, over the air on 97.5, or on Otterbein.tv. We want to thank everyone for tuning into our broadcast. 49-34, the Otterbein Cardinals trail the Marietta Pioneers. At the halftime break, we're going to take our second break of the BMI halftime show. When we come back, though, we'll look around the conference, give you scores from around the country, and, of course, the trivia question. You're listening to Cardinal Basketball on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, 97.5 WOBN.
As a referee, I pay attention for a living.
While I'm busy watching the game, I need your help keeping an eye on the stands.
If you see something that doesn't look quite right, tell a law enforcement official.
We all play an important role in protecting our communities, and you can help.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
If you see something, say something is used with permission by the New York Metropolitan Transportation Authority.
Hey Cardinal fans, Otterbein Athletics on the Radio is brought to you in part by Westerville Automotive. Serving the Westerville area for 20 years, they have 2 locations on Westerville Road and in the Uptown area, just seconds away from Otterbein on Main Street. They're on the web at westervilleautomotive.com. You can follow them on Facebook at Westerville Automotive Uptown or call them at 614-890-6700. That's Westerville Automotive.
Hi, I'm Mark McEwen, junior forward on your Otterbein basketball team, and you're listening to Cardinal Basketball on 97.5 WOBN in Westerville, Ohio, your source for Otterbein athletics.
Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m., join me, Shelby Snyder, for Shuffle Mode, only on WOBN 97.5. Shuffle Mode will provide the best music has to offer from the past, present, and any genre in between. Every week will be a new playlist with a new theme, only on WOBN 97.5 and streaming live anywhere in the world on WOBN.net.
At the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid, we provide more than $150 billion each year in grants, loans, and work-study funds, making higher education possible for anyone. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more at studentaid.gov.
For the thousands of wounded warriors returning from battle, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a unique program that helps wounded warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. The Warriors to Work program also works with companies to find the right job for the right warrior. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
And we welcome you back to the Reich Center here in Westerville, Ohio for some Saturday Night Hoops on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network. I am David Kinder. Joining me is Elijah Gonzalez. Otterbein trailing at the break 49-34 to undefeated Marietta. And it's time now to look around the conference, get you the scores from the rest of the games in the Ohio Athletic Conference. They all started earlier today, so they're all finished. Capital lost at home to Heidelberg today, 59-51, in a very high-scoring game between the league's 2 second-best teams. John Carroll fell to Mount Union Alliance 95-92. Ohio Northern fell to BW in Berea 83-62, and Muskingum fell to Wilmington in Wilmington, 100-78. Another score to get you already finished down south at the Van Johnson Fieldhouse in Marietta, Ohio. Coach Connie Richardson's girls lost their third straight, a close one though, 57-62. They lose to the Lady Pioneers. Amariah Huck does shine for Otterbein though. She ends up getting 23 points and 7 boards in the loss. Otterbein now falls to 6-9 on the season. We read that score of that Wilmington game. That's who Otterbein will take on next. That's a very important game. Both those teams that 8th spot in the OAC, both very similar teams, and Wilmington able to hang on team Otterbein already beat this year, and that's when our next broadcast will be. We want to invite you to tune into that one this Wednesday from the Reich Center at 7:30. Our pregame coverage starting at 7:15 as the Cards will battle the Quakers, but that will be a very important game for Otterbein.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a very important game, and one in which Otterbein really is going to need to find a way to win that basketball game, especially if they can't pull out the victory here against Marietta, as it's so important. But you mentioned Coach Richardson's team. That team, David, right on the cusp of being a very legitimate contender in the OAC. If they can just get the pieces all together, I mean, that's a team that I think going into the OAC tournament can be pretty dangerous. But now it's time for my favorite part of the broadcast, the all-important trivia question.
Our WOBN halftime trivia question. Matt Cole, 1 and 2 in your absence, so let's see if you can fill in his shoes.
It's probably better than me. I'm like 2 and 7, I think.
In honor of Monday being Martin Luther King Day, who, or the first black person to ever play in the NBA, was Earl Lloyd. Our question is, what team did he break the NBA color barrier with? Was it A, the Washington Capitals, B, the Detroit Pistons, C, the Minneapolis Lakers, or is it D, the New York Knicks? Earl Lloyd, the first African-American to play in the NBA. What team did he break the color barrier with? As always, if you have an answer to our trivia question, tweet in at WOBN. You get it right, we'll give you a shout out on the air. Free WOBN t-shirt. Again, your options: A, Washington Capitals, B, Detroit Pistons, C, Minneapolis Lakers, or D, New York Knicks. We'll give you the answer to our trivia question during the first timeout break of the second half of our ball game.
All right, so, and for those that want to know if maybe Elijah can give us some hints, let's not do that. Elijah, not very good with the trivia question. So you're going to be on your own for this one. However, Matt Hughes set to inbound the ball for the Cardinals, and we'll see, David, if they can find a way to crawl back into this one or if Marietta will pull away. 49-34 is our score here at the Reich Center. In the high post with his Mark McEwen. He swings it far side wing to Jake Phillips, who goes now into the post to Matt Hughes. Hughes looking to make a move in the short corner, now puts the ball on the floor with his left hand, spins. It goes up with the up and under move. He goes up and in. Nice shot by Matt Hughes on the left side of the hoop, and with 19:38 to go, the Cardinals get the first point of the half.
Yeah, Hughes up to 8 points now. Good way to start out on your first possession for Otterbein. Good ball movement, good shot selection.
Dahlman penetrates left baseline, brings it back out. Now gets it back, gets a screen now from Stevenson. Now pulls up for three from the wing, and he knocks it down. Dahlman with a big shot, and it's 52-36.
6 for 10 behind the arc now are the Pioneers. 60%. Otterbein's got to do a better job defending the perimeter.
Matt Hughes brings it up the floor for the Cardinals as he gives it to Chase Moyer on the near side wing. Moyer gets it poked away by Dahlman. Now Dahlman to the rack, and he goes up, puts it in, as there to defend him was McKenzie, but nothing doing, and it's 54-36 as Dahlman puts it up and in. Now it's Jake Phillips to bring it up the floor for the Cardinals, guarded by Reneal Ewing. Comes off a screen from Hughes, has it on the near side wing, swings to Chase Moyer in the near side corner. They go inside into the short corner on the right side of the basket is Mark McEwen. He gives it back out to McKenzie, who looks to penetrate right side of the hoop, goes up, puts it in. Nice shot by Brian McKenzie on the right side of the bucket.
In the first half, it seemed like McKenzie was a little timid to shoot the ball there. He drives baseline and he gets a nice shot off. Otterbein up to 38.
Dahlman comes off his screen, now has it at the top of the keys. Goes with the crossover, kicks it out to Garcia. Garcia looks to penetrate in the lane. He goes up with it with his right hand. It's no good. Tries to get his own rebound, battling for it, and it goes into the hands of Gerner. He kicks it back out to Stevenson to Garcia. Open three, no good. In and out. Rebound Ewing, no good. And a rebound Stevenson. He puts it in. And so 3 offensive rebounds for Marietta. It's been the story all game. The rebounding by the Pioneers, 23 on the evening. And it's now a 18-point game as Phyllis brings it across the time stripe. Phyllis now on the near side wing, guarded by Ewing. Goes between his legs, crosses over. Now goes top of the key to Hughes. Hughes looking to go inside to Mark McEwen. It's tipped away by Gerner, and it'll stay with the Otterbein Cardinals with 17:52 in the half.
You mentioned those 23 rebounds for the Pioneers. 12 of them offensively, or defensively, 11 on the offensive glass. Not good for the Otterbein trying to box out.
Otterbein looking to inbound. They get an inbound pass to McKenzie. He puts it up and in on the right side of the hoop. Nice inbound play by the Cardinals. And now Reneal Ewing pushing quickly for the Pioneers. They kick it out to Garcia, who's guarded there by McKenzie. They go into the high post to Dahlman, who brings it back out. He's going to set up the offense. He's guarded by Mark McEwen. Brings it over, dribbles with his left hand to the near side wing. Now gives it off to Reneal Ewing on the wing. Now they go inside to Gernert, and he goes up, and he's fouled by Chase Moyer. So Gernert will head to the line to shoot 2, but a good foul there if you're Chase Moyer, not allowing the easy bucket.
Yeah, that was the first on Chase Moyer, so that is a very good foul. Otherwise, it would have been a very easy layup that time for Gernert. Moyer does a good job making sure if he's going to foul him that he's not going to make the basket, and he's going to have to earn his points on the line. So the first of the game for Moyer, a smart play.
So the first one from Gernert is up and short off the front rim, and these posts for Marietta, we talked about their size. However, they've not done a great job shooting the ball from the free throw line. It's really been the guards that have been able to contribute to that. 66% here for Marietta, who's only shooting about 70 on the season, as the second one is up and good. So now Marietta puts in the bucket from the foul line, and it is a 17-point game as Jake Phillips gets the inbound pass. The crowd filed out a little bit in Adrian's Army, as now Jake Phillips brings it across the time stripe on the near side wing. They give it off to Chase Moyer. He penetrates left baseline, looks to go up on Dahlman. He can't get it to go. No foul call. Rebound Stevenson. Now Ewing pushes quickly in transition. Ewing looking to go in. Goes with the in and out crossover. Now puts it up with his right hand on the floater. No good. Rebound by Brian McKenzie, and Jake Phillips will push across the time stripe quickly for Otterbein. He's setting up the offense now at the top of the key, guarded by Ewing. Swings near side wing to Brian McKenzie. McKenzie goes high post to Hughes. They swing it far side wing now to Chase Moyer. Gives it to Mark McEwen, and now McEwen pulls up for 3 from the far side wing, and bang! Mark McEwen knocks it down. 57-43, 16-43, and counting on the clock.
He doesn't put them up often, but when he does so, they usually find the bottom of the net. McEwen, one of the better three-point shooters percentage-wise on this team.
Dahlman, a 3 from the top of the key, is short off the front rim. Rebound tipped around, and Ewing and Phillips hustling into the backcourt to get it. Ewing going to come away with it, and a nice spin move to keep control as he brings it across the time strike quickly. Dahlman penetrates in the lane, goes up left side of the hoop, swatted by Matt Hughes into the first row of bleachers here at the Reich Center. Beautiful block by Matt Hughes, and it's still 57-43 as Marietta will inbound from the near side baseline with 16:20 on the clock. Chase Moyer checks out of the game, and checking in for the Cardinals is Josh Lyle. Inbounding is Dahlman for the Pioneers. He inbounds to Gernert, and he hands it back off to Dahlman, guarded by Lyle. They go top of the key now to Ewing. They go inside to Stevenson, who's guarded there by McEwen. He goes up, he's fouled as he will head to the line to shoot 2, as Mark McEwen is going to pick up the foul. I believe that's going to be his second, if I am correct. It is. So it's the second foul on Mark McEwen. And it will be Stevenson to shoot 2 from the charity stripe.
That's Stevenson's first appearance at the free throw line in this game. He's got 6 points and now 7 as he knocks down the first.
So Stevenson now 1-1 from the line. Chellis checking out of the game, or checking into the game, excuse me, as Matt Hughes will check out of the game for Otterbein. As Dahlman getting the signal from his coach of what defense Marietta wants to play here. They've been in a full court man-to-man press pretty much this entire game. As now it is 59-43 as the second one is good from Stevenson, as Phillips will bring it across the time stripe for the Cardinals and set up the play for Otterbein. Phillips looks to spin away from Ewing, goes between his legs, penetrates on the right side of the hoop, kicks it out. Josh Lyle, open 3, far side wing, and he knocks it down. Big shot by Lyle, who had 17 against John Carroll, and it's now back to a 13-point game. Ewing brings it across the time stripe, looks to hand it off. Instead, goes to Gernert, now far side wing. It's Dahlman. Dahlman looking to go inside to Stevenson, kicks it back out. They swing it all the way around now to Ewing. Ewing, a pull-up 3 from the near side wing, is short off the front rim. Rebound to Lyle. Lyle gets it to Jake Phillips, and he's going to slow the tempo as Coach Adrian wants to set up yet another play. 15:30 and counting on the clock. Phillips on the near side wing gives it off to Josh Lyle. Lyle guarded there by Dahlman. High post now, it's Matt Chellis. Chellis looking to kick it out, find someone a guard, and he gets it to Phyllis high on the left. Phyllis goes between his legs, looks to penetrate on the right side of the bucket, goes up in the middle, and it's no good. Rebound goes to Gernert, and Ewing will push quickly for Marietta as he thinks he has numbers, but instead pulls it out. They go to Dahlman on the near side wing. They go inside now to Stevenson, who's guarded there by Chellis. Stevenson goes up with the hook shot, is no good with the right hand. Rebound to Lyle. Lyle looking to push quickly across the time stripe now for the Cardinals on the near side wing. He gives it to Mark McEwen, who gives it off to Phyllis, as Phyllis will set up the offense up high on the left. Phyllis gives it off to McKenzie on the near side wing, guarded there by Garcia. Top of the key, Mark McEwen, three, wide open, is all long off the back rim, and a foul is going to be called on Matt Chellis. That's going to be his third of the basketball game, and it looks like he's going to have to check out. Well,
Chellis.
And I'm kidding, as it is Gernert who's going to pick up the foul.
Wow.
So it's Otterbein basketball. I talked about the inconsistency, David. I have no idea where they called that one
I
from.
thought for sure that one was going to be on Chellis. Him and Gernert were kind of fighting for that rebound. It looked like Chellis kind of pushed an elbow into Gernert, and the official made that elbow motion, so I thought for sure they're going to call it on Chellis, but they decided to call it against the Pioneers. Coach Adrian will take it, so I'll take being proven wrong in that situation.
Yeah, Vanderwall is heated on this near side sideline. As they go top of the key now, it's Jake Phyllis guarded there by Richardson, who's just checked into the game for Marietta. Josh Lyle now on the near side wing, looks to penetrate. Pull-up jumper is off the back rim, no good. Rebound goes to Gernert as he pulls it down. After a couple of Otterbein guys were boxing him out, now it's Richardson quickly pushing in transition. He goes up left side of the hoop. He's fouled and one. And one there for Keith Richardson, and the Northmont grad has played very well at the backup point guard position. 61-46 is the score. 3 substitutions now coming in for Marietta as Garcia checks out along with Gernert and Stevenson. And Jake Phyllis will check out of this basketball game as Chase Moyer has checked into the game for him.
Yeah,
Moyer with the leading scorer so far for Otterbein.
Richardson only with 4 points, but he's such a quick player as a guard. He's able to cut between defenders, and you see him do it that time as he's able to quickly get to the basket and get to the line.
So Richardson knocks down the free throw, and it's 62-46 with 14:20 and counting. However, Marietta yet to really pull away here in this basketball game as Chase Moyer brings it across the time stripe, gives it off to Lyle on the near side wing. He's guarded there, and now they go to the high post to Chellis, who kicks it out. Moyer, three from the far side wing is an air ball. Rebound to Chellis. He tried to save it, and it goes in the hands of Edwards. Now up to Richardson, who quickly pushes across the time stripe. Richardson goes behind his back, now crosses over, goes in the lane, puts it up and in. Richardson, unbelievable right now. 64-46 the score, as Moyer going to bring it across the time stripe slowly as he walks it up. 13:47 and counting on the clock. Guarded there by Richardson. They go to the far side wing to Brian McKenzie. McKenzie goes top of the key now to McEwen, and now they swing it all the way back to McKenzie. McKenzie looks to penetrate left side of the hoop. He goes up and in. Brian McKenzie tied for the lead in scoring now as he's got 12, but Richardson pushing quickly in transition for Marietta. Pulls it back out. Pump fakes a three. Now they go to the far side wing to Young. Young looking to penetrate, kicks it over. It's a wide open three for Stegman on the far side wing, is no good. Rebound goes to Brian McKenzie. He gives it to Chase Moyer, who's going to go behind his back. Now look to get it across the time stripe, does, but Richardson strips him there. Richardson saves it. Stegman has it now as he's looking to penetrate in the lane. Stegman goes up and he's fouled there by Mark McEwen, and Marietta wants an intentional foul as Mark McEwen just kind of grabs Stegman there. But instead, they'll just call the foul on him. That's the third. That's going to be on Mark McEwen. And Coach Adrian, right away after that turnover by Chase Moyer, said, all right, Jake Phyllis, you're back in the game. So Jake Phyllis set to check in for Otterbein.
Yeah, a couple of bad possessions for Chase Moyer. He had the turnover there, and the one before that, he took that NBA range three, as we see the first one on the way, and missed by the Pioneers. And like you said, Phyllis is going to replace him. And he took that three-pointer early in the shot clock. It was contested from long range, and he airballed it. Not good shot selection. I mean, he played a really good first half, but back-to-back very bad possessions for Moyer, and that's why Phyllis is going to replace him at the guard spot.
Stegman's second free throw is up and good, as now Chellis will inbound to Jake Phyllis, who's guarded by Richardson as he tries to walk it across the time stripe. Phyllis now gets it across, gives it off to McKenzie on the near side wing, who has 12 points tonight. McKenzie looking to get it top of the key to Chellis. He does. Chellis now has it, takes a dribble with his left hand, and a 3-second call is going to be called on Mark McEwen. Twice we've seen that tonight, and I think that's the 2 times we've seen it all year.
This is the 15th Otterbein game I've been fortunate enough to call here on WOBN, and any of those other 14, I have not seen a 3-second violation called, and we've seen 2 of them tonight. So these refs certainly sticklers for the rules.
As now it's Richardson near side wing, looks to penetrate, goes with the in and out dribble. Now a pull-up jumper from the top of the key is no good. Rebound goes to Lyle, and he'll push quickly across for Otterbein. Looking to penetrate in the lane. He goes up with the shot on the left side of the hoop is no good. Chellis was almost there for a rebound throwdown. However, with 12:33 to go, Lyle will head to the line as he was fouled there. And the foul's going to go, I believe, against A.J. Ireland. That's exactly who they call. The third foul on Ireland. And the second foul on Marietta this half.
And Lyles really had a quiet game. His offense doesn't really relate well to this Marietta defense, as his first one's up and sits on the front of the rim and no good. Against JCU, when he scored 17, JCU is a quicker team. He was able to get down the floor in transition to get a lot of those 17 points. Today he's been held to just 3 points so far. But like we said, we're still learning a lot about Josh Lyle, just his third game as an Otterbein Cardinal, as the second one spins out.
And the first two misses of the game from the free throw line for Otterbein, as now Richardson has it far side wing. They swing it all the way around to Stegman, who looks to penetrate left baseline, goes up, puts it in. Stegman is there for the put in. And now with 12:20 and counting on the clock, it is almost up to a 20-point advantage as Matt Hughes, I guess, is running the point guard now as he has it on the far side wing, gives it off to Josh Lyle. Lyle looking to get a screen from Chellis. They give it off to Chellis in the short corner. Pull-up jumper is no good off the front rim. Rebound to Matt Hughes, though. And now Hughes gets it to Lyle, who penetrates in the lane. He goes up on the right side of the hoop, got it blocked, and Stegman comes away with it. They push it quickly up the floor to Ireland. Ireland pump fakes a jumper, kicks it out wide open. Dylan Young, three, no good off the front rim. Rebound goes to Jake Phillis, and Phillis pushing quickly, looking to penetrate on the left side, gets it taken away there by Richardson. Now Richardson going coast to coast. Richardson, a nice no-look pass to Edwards, and he finishes. A.J. Edwards with the finish, and it is up to a 21-point game. And if you're Marietta, this is exactly what you want. Otterbein turning the basketball over, and you capitalizing, going coast to coast, no-look pass at the end of the play, and A.J. Edwards looking to go to the line.
A very strange possession, series of possessions for both teams. Edwards, he's up to 12 points now, a chance to tie for the game's lead scorer as he knocks that one down. He's got 13.
13 points for A.J. Edwards, as it is now 70-48 the score here from the Reich Center. Elijah Gonzalez, David Kinder here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network. They go top of the key. It's Matt Hughes with it. He swings it far side wing to Josh Lyle, who's guarded there. They give it to Jake Phillis. Jumper mid-range is good. Nice shot by Jake Phillis, trying to put the team on his back right now. 70-50 is the score, 11-17 and counting. Richardson going coast to coast. He tries to go up. It's no good. No foul call. The ball is swatted out of bounds, and they're going to say off Brian McKenzie. So interesting call there. And now it's 11-11 to go. And Marietta will inbound from the near side baseline. It'll be Richardson, the point guard, to inbound, and he's had one heck of a basketball game as he inbounds on the far side block to Ireland, who puts it up and in. A.J. Ireland with the bucket. And it's now a 22-point game as Matt Hughes going to bring it up the floor as the point guard here. Give Jake Phillis a rest from bringing the ball up the floor as Josh Lyle now has it at the top of the key. And he's looking to get it to Brian McKenzie. Can't. Now gets it to McKenzie on the far side wing. McKenzie looking for somebody to pass it to. Still holding on to it. Now puts it on the floor with his right hand. Goes into the short corner to Matt Chellis. Looks to back down. They kick it out. Matt Hughes at the high post. Penetrates in the lane. Goes up and puts it in. Referee looked like he was about to call a blocking foul and decided not to, I guess. Didn't blow the whistle. And it's now 72-50 the score. 52 the score. A.J. Ireland pull up three from the near side wing, and he knocks it down in the face of Josh Lyle. And it's now a 23-point basketball game. Jake Phillis to bring the ball up the floor for the Cardinals, guarded there by Keith Richardson. Richardson is going to pick up the foul on the hand check as 10:14 to go. And again, a 23-point game, 75-52. And scoring in the department of scoring for the Otterbein Cardinals, Jake Phillis has 8 points, but the leaders are Brian McKenzie and Chase Moyer. As Phillis bringing it across Carty's chest at midcourt, guarded there by Richardson, goes to the far side wing to McKenzie, who penetrates in the lane. He goes up, puts it in, and one! As it got tipped, it looked like, by a Marietta player, I believe. It looked like Stegman who tipped it up, and Stegman tipped it up. That ball was going short, but he tips it up and in for the bucket. So Brian McKenzie has a chance at a three-point play.
Yeah, and he's up to 14 points now, which has tied him for the game's high score. So if he can knock down this free throw from the right line, he can be the game's lead scorer.
McKenzie knocks it down, so he's got 15. and is now the leading scorer here in this basketball game. Pushing it quickly, however, is Marietta. Ireland trying to go inside to Edwards. He goes up on the left side of the hoop. No good. Stegman with the board, and he is fouled, I believe, by Matt Chellis. It's one of the Matts. It's Matt Rhodes or Chellis, and they're going to call it on Chellis.
Matt Hughes.
Hughes.
Little flashback to last year.
Yeah, a little flashback.
Yeah, the referees didn't call Chellis for the first one when he went up for a block, and I thought that was more of a foul than the second one on the putback. But either way, they're going to get it on Chellis. His third, team's sixth of the half.
Stegman's first one sits on the back crossbar, and he puts it in. As it is now a 21-point game, 76-55. And we've yet to have time for the trivia question, as there's yet to be a break in the action.
Yeah, halfway through the second half, and no timeouts called by either team. Very quick moving.
77-55 the score here from the Reich Center as Jake Phillis looking to bring it across the time stripe here for the Cardinals. Guarded there by Keith Richardson as he comes off a screen from Matt Chellis. Looks to penetrate left side of the hoop, puts it up and in, and Jake Phillis now in double digits as he's got 10. It's Keith Richardson bringing it across the time stripe on the far side wing. Now has it high on the right. Goes top of the key to Stegman. They swing it all the way to A.J. Ireland. Now they go back cross court to Richardson, who comes off a screen from Ireland and now puts up a pull-up three from the top of the key, and he got it to go. Keith Richardson with the pull-up jumper, and Richardson has had one heck of a day offensively. As now it's going to be Matt Hughes bringing it across the time stripe for the Otterbein Cardinals. 5 new players coming in for Marietta here as Josh Lyle swings it top of the key to Brian McKenzie. McKenzie looking to get it to Jake Phillis. He does now. Phillis guarded by Richardson. Has it. Looking to go inside and does to Hughes, but Hughes dropped it. Now has it out in the short corner. They give it off to Phillis now. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Turns down the screen. Penetrates. Pull-up jumper is a bank shot that goes in. It's 12 points now for Jake Phillis, and a little trash talking going back and forth between him and Keith Richardson. As Richardson looks to penetrate, almost got it stripped away, and instead he throws up a backward shot that is an air ball, but looked like it almost went in the basket.
You mentioned those 5 guys at the scorer's table waiting to check in for Coach Vanderwall. All 5 of the starters waiting to get back into the ball game. So we talked about he's not going to ease up off the gas on this Otterbein team. They scored over 100 against Otterbein both times they played them in the 2014 season. They had a great season last year as well, 19-7, so they're not going to ease up off the brakes at all. That's not Coach Vanderwall's style.
80-59 our score here at the Reich Center with 8:42 to go.
Chase Moyer going to head to the scorer's table for Coach Adrian. We'll see who he comes in to replace.
And they're calling Richardson back to the foul line as Otterbein now in the bonus, or excuse me, Marietta in the bonus. Otterbein with 7 fouls here.
And Moyer's going to replace Jake Phillis as the point guard, so Phillis will head over to the bench.
Interesting decision here by Coach Adrian, really taking out the only offense he's had here in the second half.
Him and McKenzie. As
Richardson at the charity stripe puts up the first one, and it's good. Swishes it home. 81-59 now the score. 8:42 and counting. We'll get you the answer to the trivia question if we ever get a break. As the second one is up and short off the front rim. Rebound grab by both Chellis as well as Hughes. It's now Chase Moyer who has it, and he's bringing it across the time stripe, guarded there by Richardson. Almost carried it and lost the basketball. Instead, gets it to Chellis on the near side wing. Chellis now has it at the top of the key, gives it off to Josh Lyle. Now they go in near side corner to Brian McKenzie. McKenzie gets a screen from Hughes. Comes off the screen, looks to penetrate on Garcia, does. Tries to kick it back out to Hughes, got it taken away by Gerner. Gets it up to Dahlman. Dahlman goes up and he's fouled, and we'll see if they do call intentional. Good foul there by Chase Moyer. I liked it. It was a good foul that came right there.
Not going to call intentional. Moyer basically tackled him though as he was going up for that layup. Made sure that he didn't make the basket. It will send Dolman to the line to earn his points instead of the easy layup.
And David, you know, we talked about Jake Phillis coming out of the game really being one of the only scorers besides Brian McKenzie so far here in this half. And he came out of the game and he is down there. He was exhausted. So yeah. Jake Phillis really just kind of needed a blow. As not as much of Coach Adrian didn't like what he was doing, just needed a rest. As Dahlman knocks down the first free throw.
And you send in Moyer to replace him. It's not like Moyer's had a bad game either. I mean, he started off the second half a little shaky, but going in with 12 points into the break.
The second one by Dahlman is good, and it's now 83-59 the score as Chase Moyer picked up his second foul on that layup, in which he fouled Dahlman pretty hard.
Yeah, Ben Umpleby waiting to check into the game now for Coach.
Lyle penetrates on the right baseline, gets it swatted away by Stevenson. And now Stevenson gets it up to Renil Ewing. He swings it to Garcia on the near side corner, looking to penetrate, brings it back out, and now kicks it into the far side corner. Wide open, Dahlman, three, and he knocks it down. 86-59, and Marietta running up the score now as Brian McKenzie has it on the near side wing, looking for a screen. It's slipped by Hughes, but he throws it away. Brian McKenzie does. 7:37 to go, a turnover for the Cardinals. Ben Umpleby set to check in the game. A timeout is going to be called by Otterbein. It's a full timeout, and Marietta, if you're a Marietta Pioneer fan, you gotta like what you've been seeing. 86-59, 7:37 to go, and now it's finally time for the trivia question.
It was in honor of Monday being MLK Day. The first African-American to play in the NBA was Earl Lloyd. What team did he break the color barrier with? Was it A, the Washington Capitals, B, the Detroit Pistons, C, the Minneapolis Lakers, or D, the New York Knicks?
I'm going Washington Capitals.
Here you go, Capitals. We got a lot of answers into the trivia question today. Unfortunately, none of the answers that anyone gave us from the outside of this press box were right.
Woo!
But someone in the press box got it right.
Wow.
It is A, the Washington Capitals. Earl Lloyd out of West Virginia State. He became the NBA's first black player on October 13th, 1950, just beating out Nate Clifton, who was the first African-American to sign with an NBA team, but missed out on being part of history to play in the first game because his Knicks season did not start till 4 days after Lloyd's did. Earl Lloyd's Capital team folded the next year. He ended up joining the Army only to return to the NBA, play 8 more seasons in the league, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2013. So congrats to you coming back from your break, 1-0 now, getting the correct answer. Earl Lloyd with the Capitals. Well, I thought you wouldn't pick it because the Washington Capitals, of course, are now a hockey team.
Well, you know,
but back in the day, we're also a basketball team.
Back in the day, they were also a basketball team, and they changed a couple of names in Washington. You got the Washington Capitals, you had the Bullets, you had now you got the Wizards.
Yeah.
So
they've been a whole bunch of different teams.
But you know what, David? This has not been a great game for the Otterbein Cardinals as they're trailing 86-59. But it's been a great broadcast for me because I got the trivia question right. So Renil Ewing brings it across the time stripe as he gives it off to Garcia, who comes off a screen. Now gives it to Gernert, who now gives it off to Renil Ewing on the near side wing, guarded there by Chase Moyer. Comes off a screen, now crosses back over, penetrates near side baseline. Jumper is good from Renil Ewing, and it's now 88-59. And like you mentioned, Coach Vanderwall not calling out the dogs as Renil Ewing still pressuring the point guard full court as it's 7:09 to go and counting. Guarded there by Chase Moyer is Renil Ewing as he comes off a screen, penetrates in the lane, goes up right side of the hoop, and he puts it in. Chase Moyer now has got 14. Renil Ewing pushing quickly across the time stripe for Marietta. He looks to go up in the middle of the lane, kicks it back out. Now it's Gernert. A pull-up three from the far side wing is no good. Rebound to Matt Hughes. Hughes looking to bring it across the time stripe for Otterbein as Chase Moyer was pressured full court. Hands it off to Moyer now. 6:40 and counting on the clock. Moyer comes off a screen from Chellis. Pull-up three from the far side wing is off the back rim. No good. Chellis can't hang on to the basketball, and it falls out of bounds with 6:34 to go, and the clock is stopped. 8 team fouls for the Cardinals, only 4 for Marietta. So Marietta in the bonus the rest of the way. Otterbein still has a couple to go before they get in the bonus. 6:33 now as the clock is moving. And Renil Ewing bringing it across the time stripe. It's Dahlman now on the near side wing. Gives it inside to Stevenson. He goes up and he's going to be fouled there by Matt Hughes. And it looked like Hughes just kind of grabbed his arm there.
Yeah, good active sportsmanship, though, as he falls down and Hughes goes right down to help him back up to his feet. No harm, no foul. Well, there's a foul, but not an intentional one.
So Umpleby in the game for Otterbein for the first time. 6:24, clock stopped as the first free throw from Stevenson is up and good. This is Ben Umpleby's first time in the game.
Yeah, we talked about Coach Adrian, a much shorter lease on his substitutions in this game. We know that Miller was out. Marshall Crum still coming back from an illness, but we haven't seen nearly as many substitutions.
Umpleby can't grab it, but it falls into the hands of Hughes. And now Chase Moyer will set up the offense for the Cardinals. 89-61 our score here at the Reich Center as Moyer comes off a screen. Gets it at the top of the key to Hughes. Hughes penetrates in the lane. He goes up, and the shot is blocked by Stevenson. And Renil Ewing pushing quickly for Marietta, not taking their foot off the pedal. They get it to Dahlman. He penetrates in the lane, kicks it back out top of the key to Gernert. They swing it to Garcia now, who has it top of the key. He pulls up for three. It's off the back rim. Rebound goes to Garrett Stevenson. Stevenson looking to go up with the left hand, puts it up and in. And these post moves for Marietta have just been unbelievable. as it is now 91-61, a 30-point game right now for the Cardinals. 5:40 and counting on the clock. Marietta approaching that 100-point mark as Umpleby has it at the top of the key. He's guarded there by Garcia. It's almost taken away there by Reniel Ewing, who, for those that do not know, as we mentioned, came to Otterbein to play for Dick Reynolds, and now he's playing for Marietta.
Yeah, he was on Dick Reynolds' last team in the 2012-2013 season. Didn't like how much playing time or lack thereof he was getting, so transferred to Marietta. Sat out a year, so this is his second year at Marietta. So eligibility-wise, he's just a junior, and he's played pretty well for the Pioneers.
Now it's Josh Lyle with it on the far side wing. He's guarded there by Dahlman. And now they swing it to Chase Moyer as Moyer gets it to Hughes in the short corner. Hughes looking to penetrate at 5 on the shot clock. Goes up, he's fouled, and it rolls in. Matt Hughes gets the and one. He'll head to the charity stripe.
Yeah, he's been good there today, too. Just 3 of 10 from the field today is Hughes, but he's 4 for 4 from the line. He's got 10 points. He's one of 4 Otterbein Cardinals in double figures so far in this game. Elijah has a chance to get up to 12 right here from the right line.
So Matt Hughes at the charity stripe. The free throw is up and good. 5:17 clock stop. Coach Adrian takes a full timeout. 91-64 our score here at the Reich Center. Again, the next time you can catch Otterbein basketball right here on WOBN will be on Wednesday when the Wilmington Quakers come to town to take on the Otterbein Cardinals, and you can hear that one again right here on WOBN 97.5, the Wild Card, the Otterbein Sports Radio Network. Also, make sure you tune in for the Ohio Health post-game show here this evening, as we will have head coach Todd Adrian talk about this game with the Marietta Pioneers.
Yeah, we talked about Coach Vanderwall not taking his foot off the gas, and that seems how it's like it's been my entire 3 years here at Otterbein. Put up over 100 against Otterbein both games last year when he really didn't have to. And you hear this term a lot in football, talking about style points. It's almost like he's looking for these huge wins for style points, because while Marietta is undefeated, they're only the 7th ranked team in the nation. Every other team ahead of them has at least 1 loss, and in 2 other teams' cases, they have 2 losses. So while they're undefeated, they're still ranked high, but they're not getting this respect they probably feel that they deserve being in the OAC. So maybe they're going for style points here, want to get as many points as they can, the big blowout victory, so they can try to persuade some of those voters maybe and get higher up in the polls. It's more of a football term, but maybe Coach is doing it here for basketball too.
Well, you know, in all reality, I mean, if Marietta does make it into the NCAA tournament, and which, if barring any crazy things to happen, even if they do lose in the OAC tournament, they should.
Yeah.
This is a team that they'll have to play very talented teams in the NCAA tournament, and they're not going to be able to take their foot off the gas. And so maybe, you know, Coach Vanderwall wants to just teach them from the beginning, you know, look, you guys are good enough to make the tournament. We're not going to take our foot off the gas, and that's how I want you guys to play pretty much every minute of these basketball games. So now it swings to Dahlman, who has it now on the near side wing, guarded there by Josh Lyle. They go inside to Stevenson. Stevenson pump fakes, now goes up with the right hook, and it's good, and a foul. So Stevenson will head to the line, 93-64, and we thought that Marietta wouldn't make it to 100 at halftime, but
it looks like
they will. 5:04 to go here on the clock as A.J. Edwards checking in for the shooter. I think he forgot who he was checking in for, as he looked like he was about to run in the game.
This will be the first time all year, too, surprisingly, that they crack the century mark if they do so.
Stevenson knocks down the free throw, and A.J. Edwards checks in. Garrett Stevenson checks out. As Grant Fenner, as you hear the applause for Garrett Stevenson, and he had one heck of a basketball game, 14 points, 5 rebounds for Stevenson. As now it is Chase Moyer, brings it across the time stripe, gives it off to Josh Lyle, who has it on the far side wing. They go inside to Matt Chellis. Chellis looking to spin, and he traveled. So Chellis turns it over for Otterbein.
15th turnover of the game on the Cardinals. They only had 6 of them at the halftime break, and that was kind of the reason they were hanging around in the game. But now you're up to 15, a couple sloppy passes, some travels here and there, and that'll definitely kill you if you're the Cards, who have turned it over a lot this year.
A 30-point advantage is 94-64. And now dribbling with it at the top of the key is McCreary, the freshman, getting his first action of the game. Andy Dahlman now has it on the near side wing, gets a screen from Edwards. Pull-up 3 from the near side wing, wide open, and he knocks it down. 97-64 with 4:27 to go and counting. And 3 points away from the century mark. As now it is Chase Moyer who has it on the near side wing. Top of the key to Grant Fenner, who swings it to Ben Umpleby. He goes with a pull-up jumper on the left side of the hoop, is way off the mark. Rebound goes to Luis Garcia. Garcia guarded now by Appleby as he brings it across the time stripe, and a timeout is going to be called. It's a substitution timeout so that Marietta can just get their subs on the floor as Dahlman checks out of the game. Edwards checks out, so does Garcia.
And they get a nice round of applause from a very large amount of blue in the audience that made the trip from the Ohio River up to the Reich Center.
Well, and then you got Reniel Ewings from Dublin Toyota.
Very close by, yeah, so he probably has a lot of fans and family in the attendance today.
So now working on Grant Fenner is, I'm not sure, A.J. Davis as he goes up, puts it in, and Davis gets it to fall. So now it is 99-64 with 3:47 and counting on the clock, as it is now Chase Moyer goes with a backdoor pass to Umpleby, who can't hang on to it. Now he has it in the left side short corner, stripped away from Matt Chellis there, and it goes out of bounds. The person who stripped that away was Nate Walker, the sophomore, as he's seeing his first action. Everyone on the floor right now for Marietta is seeing their first action of the game. As Otterbein looks to get in, they get into Grant Fenner in the far side corner. Have not called his name hardly at all here in this basketball game, but we finally do as he gets it to go on the right side of the hoop with a finger roll.
Yeah, Fenner's first points of the game, just his second field goal attempt.
99-66 now the score, as Marietta just needs one bucket to get to the century mark, and it's a foul that's going to be called, I believe, on either Fenner or Chellis. We'll see who they call it on. And, well, it's actually going to be called on Josh Lyle, so I was totally wrong. So Josh Lyle is going to pick up the foul. Connor McCreary will be at the charity stripe, the point guard, the freshman from Colonel Crawford High School, as the first one is up, and it falls in. 100-66 is our score here. And so yet again, for the third time, the Otterbein Cardinals have given up 100 points to Marietta. The second one does not fall in, and Chellis comes away with the rebound. Both games last year for Otterbein, they gave up 100 points to Marietta, and it happens here yet again.
That's the first time Marietta's done it all year, though. It's the first time Otterbein's given up 100.
A.J. Davis saves it off Chellis, and it's going to be Marietta basketball as yet another turnover. That comes from the Cardinals with 3:07 on the clock as the clock is stopped to inbound the basketball here, and 16 turnovers for the Otterbein Cardinals as Connor McCreary brings it across the time stripe here as our local time is just about 9 o'clock. McCreary penetrates, goes up with the jumper, is no good, off the back rim, and the rebound falls into the hands of Chase Moyer. The free throws were actually made by Tyler Irish, had that name wrong, as Josh Lyle goes with the jumper and instead tried to pass it to Fenner. 17th turnover. Davis kicks it back out. A between the legs pass to Irish, who saves it. And a pump fake three there by Marietta. They swing it all the way around. Go inside now to Davis, who goes up, and he's not fouled by Chellis. No call. Rebound, he kicks it back out. And pump faking a three. They go back inside to A.J. Davis. Davis looking to spin. He goes up with a right hook, and he gets it to go. So the layup falls. 102-66, and the timeout for some substitutions to be made for Otterbein. Christian Meister comes into the game. Michael Howard comes into the game. Clayton Schaefer comes into the game. Aaron Malley into the game. And Marshall Crum has also checked into the game here. Yeah, we'll see who he checks in for.
Probably the most surprising, I think, of all those substitutions is Christian Meister hasn't played at all in this game. Meister played significant minutes in the loss at JCU on Wednesday. However, this is the first time he's gotten in the game all day for Coach Adrian. So, like we said, Coach Adrian didn't run as deep as a bench as he normally did today.
2:20 and counting on the clock as Meister looking to bring it across the time stripe here for Otterbein, guarded tightly there by McCreary. Gives it off now to Michael Howard in the far side corner. In the last game I was at, all these guys pretty much played the majority of the game in the second half against Worcester State. As now it's Aaron Malley who has it. Gets it top of the key to Michael Howard with 15 on the shot clock. He dribbles it over far side wing. Guarded there now, doubled at the top of the key. Looking to penetrate, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Meister, a long three from the near side wing is no good. Rebound falls in the hands of Marietta, and they're pushing quickly in transition. They kick it back out to Davis now. They swing it back top of the key. Swung all the way around. Isaiah Keene pulls up three, knocks it down. Wide open three there for Keene. The freshman from Columbus went to Westerville North High School. So a local product from here. And 105-66 is our score now. Here at the Reich Center as a foul's going to be called, and it will not put Otterbein in the bonus with 1:30 to go in the basketball game. 27 seconds will remain on the shot clock. A reminder, tune in the Ohio Health postgame show. We'll have questions for head coach Todd Adrian as Troy Phelps set to check in the basketball game here for Otterbein. We'll see who he checks in for. Going to check in for Clayton Schaefer. So Schaefer It's a quick spill, and Connor Eccles also set to check in the game, as he is going to check in for Aaron Malley. So Malley will be done for the day, more likely.
Yeah, Malley and Schaefer really didn't get a whole lot of playing time out there to show them, coach anything.
So now it's Michael Howard with it at the top of the key. As he's looking to swing to Meister, he does. They go inside Marshall Crum. Crum has it now, guarded there by A.J. Davis, spins, has nowhere to go with the basketball, and a push is going to be called on A.J. Davis before the shot from Christian Meister that he pulled up from way beyond the arc. 1:19 to go, and they are in the 1-and-1 situation now, Otterbein is, so Marshall Crum will be at the charity stripe. So Crum's first one is up and off the back rim, no good. Rebound is going to be corralled, and now it's A.J. Davis. So hand it off to McCreary, as Connor McCreary gives it off to Isaiah Keene on the far side wing. Keene now top of the key, and it's being swung around. It's Brett Price, and now it's a wide open three for Davis, no good. Rebound goes to McCreary. They get it to Davis, penetrates in the lane. He goes up, it's no good. Rebound battled for and tipped out of bounds there by Isaiah Barbara, the freshman from St. Ignatius. As now Michael Howard bringing across the time stripe. 52 seconds on the game clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock here. As now they look to get it to Connor Eccles, and now that he goes top of the key, Marshall Crum. Crum looks to penetrate, can't get inside. Michael Howard looking to penetrate, and now he's going to kick it back out. Connor Eccles, open three, far side wing is no good off the front rim. Rebound to A.J. Davis. 33 on the shot clock, and they're still going to pull up. Isaiah Keene, near side wing is no good off the front rim. Rebound to Connor Eccles. Christian Meister brings it across the time stripe now for Otterbein, looking to penetrate. Pulls it back out near side wing, top of the key. Now they go inside to Phelps, taken away by Keene. Keene pushing quickly in transition. Nice pass to Davis that kicks it back out to Keene, and it's going to go out of bounds off of Isaiah Keene. 12.2 seconds to go. 105-66 our score. Looks to be the final unless Otterbein here gets a late basket. 8 seconds on the game clock. 7-6. Howard comes off a screen at the top of the key, but that's going to do it, I believe. Crum at the top of the key. Pull-up jumper is no good off the back rim. So that's it. The Otterbein Cardinals fall here to the Marietta Pioneers by a whopping score of 105-66. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will have final statistics and analysis here on the Ohio Health Post Game Show. You're listening to Otterbein Basketball on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network. We'll be right back.
I thought I was too old.